All right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat. We round off this day of women's football action with the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup final. Arsenal take on Corinthians at the Emirates Stadium, so home advantage is with the hosts, Arsenal. But who will come out on top over 90 minutes of exciting action as we round off the FIFA Women's Champions Cup? Should be good this. We watched all the games obviously on Wednesday, Harry. And Arsenal had a very different game to what we saw in Gotham Corinthians. Arsenal dominated against Asfar, but we'll start with Corinthians because it's a much more interesting story. Overcoming Gotham FC, a Gotham side who, like Corinthians, hadn't played a lot of football, but they didn't look sharp at all. They looked very sloppy, but Corinthians took full advantage of that.
Yeah, as you say, absolutely brilliant to see Corinthians come through that semi-final. I think a lot of people already had in their heads that we'd be watching Arsenal versus Gotham tonight, but Corinthians had other ideas. They punished Gotham mistakes. They made it difficult for the NWSL side, and they deserved the victory. It was a brilliant performance, and I think that they will look to... This is what the Women's Champions Cup is all about. It's a massive stage. It's an opportunity for these smaller clubs to shine and really show their quality against the best of the best. So a massive win for Corinthians. They deserve to be here tonight, and we know they'll give Arsenal a good game. Massive victory for them on Wednesday. Great to see them into the final tonight, and yeah, as you say, a massive opportunity for them to really show their class.
Yeah, what performance, as you say, on Wednesday. It was incredible, that moment as Gabby Zanotti fired past Ann-Katrin Berger. It was a tame strike, but it trickled its way through, and it gave the Corinthians fans an incredible section of travelling support they had. It gave them something to celebrate. It gave them, obviously, this opportunity now in the final to face Arsenal, and that's a really exciting opportunity for the side. And as you mentioned, they played really well on Wednesday, and that performance leans itself now to going into this game with a bit of belief, bit of confidence, and there's every chance they can get something from this game. Arsenal, by contrast, had it all their own way against Asfar, who really weren't up to the level, and Arsenal cruised through that game.
Yeah, you could tell there's a big gulf in quality between the two sides, and although Asfar did have their moments in that game, they did have 5-10 minute spells where they managed to take the challenge to Arsenal, but the Gunners were way too good for them. Some brilliant goals in there, a very convincing performance, and yeah, we expected Arsenal to come through. Really strong performance from the Gunners, and again, another opportunity tonight to get their hands on more silverware. Will be a bigger challenge, but yeah, Arsenal, it was a professional job on Wednesday. They were pretty much perfect, did exactly what they needed to do, and again, a very deserving of an opportunity tonight to become the first champions of this trophy.
Absolutely. Let's get in then to the lineups for today's game, and as Arsenal are designated home sides and de facto hosts of this, of course, this being at the Emirates Stadium in London, we'll start with the Gunners. A 4-2-3-1 for Slegers' side today. In goal, Annika Borber keeps her spot with Daphne van Domselaar still restricted to the sidelines. In the back four, it's Fox with Moy, Catley and McCabe. A midfield pivot of Little and Mariona Caldente. In the 10, it's Alessia Russo. On one side, Mead. On the other, Olivia Smith. And leading the line, Stina Blackstenius. Not too different then from Arsenal's strongest 11 really throughout this season. Understandably not risking Leah Williamson. There's no reason to. They should be fine in a game like this without her. But still, a strong 11 without her.
Yeah, it's a very, very good side. It's a side that we've got used to seeing this campaign for Arsenal. The stronger players coming back in after the rotated side faced Asfar on Wednesday, and I'm sure they'll be coming, they'll expect to deliver as the side that have got some very, very good results for Arsenal. Very, very close to the side that beat Chelsea last weekend. So, yeah, as expected, really, for Arsenal, a side full of quality and a side that will believe that they can get the job done today.
Absolutely. As for the visitors then, Corinthians naming the same lineup that beat Gotham FC. In goal it is Letitia, a back four of Fernandez, Ferreira, Tejes and Tamires. Across the midfield three, Ludmilisa Alves, Duda Sampao and Ana Vittoria. On one wing Aquino, on the other Jacqueline, and leading the line it's Gabby Zanotti. Strong side then, again, for Corinthians. We saw them be super combative in that game against Gotham FC. They dictated that midfield battle with how much they wanted the ball, with how much energy they had in there, the intensity of that midfield. If they could do that tonight, how does that give them, or what sort of chance of winning does that give them?
It will massively help them. As you say, they've got to be up for it. From minute one, they've got to be at 110%. We saw on Wednesday with Asfar, although they had their spells during the game, they were asleep for the first, they weren't up to the standard for 10-15 minutes, and Arsenal ran away with the game. Corinthians have got to be on it tonight from minute one. They're going to have to come at Arsenal fast, be aggressive, be combative. Even if you give a couple fouls away early doors, just let Arsenal know you're there. Be aggressive, be on the front foot. And although they've got some older players, with that comes experience. And, in these kind of games, that can be absolutely crucial. It's a very, very good side. It's full of top quality players that we've seen shine on the international stage at the major international tournaments. And I'm sure tonight for Corinthians could become big in this massive opportunity for them to become what is almost champions of the world. So a massive opportunity for Corinthians tonight. It's a very, very good 11. Lots of experience. Defensively, they're going to be tested. In the front line, they're going to need players like Zanotti to be on it once again and be clinical in front of goal. They're up against it tonight, Corinthians, but they'll know that, they'll be aware of that, and they'll try and thrive on the fact that they're the underdogs in this one.
Yeah, it's a nice audition. It wouldn't, as you say, it wouldn't be champions of the world, but it puts them in a great spot when we do get round to the Club World Cup, that they have that opportunity to kick on there. But I think Corinthians gave a great account of themselves in the semi-final on Wednesday. I hope even if they can't match Arsenal's intensity and over 90 minutes, and they can't perhaps match Arsenal's quality, I think that their work rate has to be there. And if it is, if they give a good account of themselves, then they can be proud. It'll be frustrating if, like Asfar, they've got this far and then kind of fell apart. And of course, they're not in the middle of their season. That's a big problem for them, while Arsenal are. And we have seen, that's why Gotham were knocked out. They didn't, they've not had much of pre-season yet. And they didn't look sharp. They had a much better performance earlier today against Asfar as well. But yeah, if Corinthians can be physical, if Corinthians can impose themselves on Arsenal, I think that will make for an interesting contest. It would be a shame if they can't find that level, if they can't give Arsenal a fair challenge.
Yeah, it's exactly that. We want to. I'm sure everyone right now, no matter who you're supporting, you want to see a good final. You want to see this competition be represented in a good light. It would feel pointless if Arsenal turned up and smashed Asfar in the semi-finals and then dispatched the Corinthians in easy fashion. We want to see a game that is representative of a cup final, of a major tournament final. I think Corinthians have got the quality on their day to deliver that. It's all about 5-10 minute bursts. They've got to start fast, got to keep Arsenal guessing, and just try and get through the game. Early goal will kill this for Corinthians. It doesn't. If Arsenal scored an early goal, it would kill the game for Corinthians. They've got to be on it from minute one. Get through the first 5-10 minutes, then look to play your football. If they get the game plan right, they can make it difficult for Arsenal. And as you say, if they walk off and they lose this final by 1-0 against the reigning European champions, they can hold their heads high, and the fans can enjoy what has been a really good time. They've got to be on it from minute one. But yeah, they're a good side. They've got the quality. As you said, I just hope that they can deliver today.
Yeah, the best chance of scoring for me is going to be in transition. The fear will be that the way they found that goal against Gotham was being able to get those runners in behind, or the way they threatened against Gotham was getting runners in behind. But against the recovering pace of Emily Fox, that's going to be really difficult to get Aquino in behind there. But if you can use Zanotti, draw the centre-backs out, and then get those runners getting into those central areas, that could hurt Arsenal. As I say, the concern will be Emily Fox's incredible recovery runs, and so it's going to be difficult to get away from her. But if you can get two players in behind, maybe they can combine, and that makes life very difficult. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game today. I hope it's going to be an even contest. I hope Corinthians can, at the very least, give Arsenal a great game. Jayan, welcome to the stream. Says, I'm so excited for the game. Always love listening to you guys' inputs. Appreciate it. Says, I think 2-1 to Arsenal with a late winner. We'll get into predictions in just a moment, but a lot of predictions going towards Arsenal, especially the poll in chat as well. 214 votes. Thanks everyone that's tuning in. 89% Arsenal to just 11% Corinthians, which after how incredible the Corinthian support was on Wednesday, and I love seeing so many people in the stream, I thought we'd see that a little bit higher, but the Arsenal fans out in full voice tonight. And it's going to be interesting to see what the atmosphere's like in the stadium. We saw how important I think Corinthians fans were for getting the team over the line against Gotham. That cluster of support mixed in with some school children from various West London primary schools created an incredible atmosphere. Whether or not we'll be able to see the same thing today, we'll have to see. But it does feel like that could carry them over the line. And of course, it's Arsenal's home stadium, but it's not as important. It doesn't feel as important a game. They haven't sold it out to the level you would expect for a WSL match or for a Champions League match, especially. And Corinthians have brought an incredible support.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant to see, and it's what I spoke about a moment ago with how big these tournaments can be for sides like Corinthians. It's a massive opportunity for the fans to not only support their club, but they get to watch them face one of the best clubs in the world. They get to come to a massive stadium in the Emirates, and it presents a great opportunity to come and support their team. And as you say, numbers are important, but so is noise. You can bring as many as you want, but if you're not going to make any noise, it doesn't matter. Those Corinthians fans are loud. There's loads of them, and they will not stop making noise. Minute 1 to 90, they could be losing this final ball, however many goals. Those fans will not stop cheering for their side. It's a brilliant, brilliant support. And yeah, great to see them all enjoying the occasion and backing their side all the way over from Brazil. And yeah, why not have a great time? Enjoy it. Enjoy watching your side go up against one of the best sides in the world. And if you come away with a trophy, then that's even better. But yeah, it's great to see the support for Corinthians.
Absolutely. Well, with that said, let's dive into predictions as the players make their way out onto the field, and the tifos of both teams' logos and the FIFA Women's Champions Cup badge are displayed proudly behind today's players. Let's dive into our predictions. If you're watching along to the live show, let us know in the live chat what your scoreline prediction is. We're going to start here in the studio though. And Harry, what is your prediction for today's game?
I think Corinthians will give a good account of themselves, but Arsenal's quality will shine through in the end. I will say Arsenal to be crowned the FIFA Women's Champions Cup champions. I will say 2-0 to the Gunners. I will say a Calorente penalty and a goal for Alessia Russo in the second half to seal it. Arsenal to win, but Corinthians to put up a good fight.
Fair enough. I like the prediction. I am going to back the upset. I'm going to say Arsenal 0, Corinthians 2. And I'm going to go for a goal from Gabby Zanotti, and I'm going to say a goal from Duda Sampao as well. I'm going to settle on the edge of the box, and she just catches it on the side volley into the top corner, and just a narrow victory for Corinthians. But I think they'll have that battle today. I think they'll get it over the line. I'm backing them to pull off the upset. As for the predictions in the live chat, Agneta going 3-0 Arsenal, Otieno going 3-0 Arsenal, Alusa going 4-0 Arsenal, JPVA saying 5-0 Corinthians, Callie says 3-1 to Arsenal, Phil going 5-1 Arsenal, Laurette says 3-0 to the away side, so I'm guessing Corinthians. Lloyd saying 2-1 Arsenal, and Wahil saying 6-0 Corinthians.
So
range of predictions.
There's some brilliant predictions in there from everybody. Great to see everyone getting involved. Yes, people have a lot of different thoughts about this one. I would be surprised if Corinthians found 6, but you never know. Football is a funny game sometimes. But yeah, it should be a great final. I really hope the Corinthians put up a really good fight. And as I say, we just want to see a really good show.
Kenneth Clark going 9-0 Arsenal and Thomas Bromley going 4-0 Arsenal. So a whole host of predictions. The Corinthian fans think they're going to win 6-0, and the Arsenal fans think they're going to win 6-0. So I think it's going to be a great game of football. 0-0. Penalties.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
After all this.
We're not going to get a single goal.
And the captains exchanging emblems and a handshake ahead of today's game as the Kinsica blimps go around the stadium. Just a reminder that Michelle Kang brings you this tournament. And it should be a fantastic contest today. As I say, hopefully Corinthians can put up a strong fight. They're fantastic against Gotham FC on Wednesday. They asserted themselves fantastically. This is going to be a different test, not because necessarily Arsenal are stronger than Gotham, but they're both very different points in their season. Gotham weren't ready. Gotham were very much a side who just started pre-season. This is an Arsenal team who are obviously midway through their campaign. They're ready to go. They're raring to go. There should be a very difficult, or this should be an Arsenal win, quite frankly. Whether the Corinthians can stop them, whether the Corinthians can pull off the upset is what we remain to see. But we're about to get underway here at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal taking on Corinthians for the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup. Winners of the Copa Libertadores 5 times in a row, Corinthians. Arsenal, the most recent winners of the UEFA Women's Champions League, which is the second time in their history. Can Arsenal become the first winners of this new competition as we build up towards a fully scaled Club World Cup next year? And Corinthians in their away strip today, of course, as well as their white would clash with Arsenal, but their vibrant black and orange replacing the iconic black and white. Russo from the middle, Blackstenius from the middle, waiting for the referee's whistle, who signals over towards the fourth official. And now Blackstenius preparing to get us underway. The whistle's blown. We're underway here at the Emirates Stadium. It's the FIFA Women's Champions Cup Final 2026. Arsenal taking on Corinthians. Arsenal of England against Corinthians of Brazil. And on the right-hand side, it's Arsenal coming forwards early on here. Fox looking to carry it. Forced backwards, though. Now Mead. Fox. Good interception there from Tamires. And it's all going to be about how quickly Corinthians can settle into this game. Tamira has taken it into our own corner and has accidentally ran it out for an Arsenal corner there.
Yeah, fast start from Arsenal, immediately trying to put Corinthians under pressure and reaping the rewards. Tamira is a bit clumsy, player of her experience. You'd like to think would handle the pressure a little bit better. But they are going to be under the cosh, Corinthians early doors. They've got to be careful that they don't get caught out in this one. I said earlier, get through the first 5-10 minutes unscathed. Can't afford to concede early.
Corner taken short, recycled back to McCabe, who clips it into the box. Important header away. Smith now strikes into a crowd of bodies. Mariona Caldente pokes it goalwards and headed away fantastically by Ferreira. And now Zanotti clearing it away. And Aquino will give chase. Fox heads it down. And it drops now for Kim Little. Now it's the right-hand side with Mead.
Messy from Corinthians to begin with, but Messi will do for the moment. As I say, they just need to settle down. So clearing the ball by any means will suffice as they look to just get a grip of this game.
Indeed. Fox across to Ruben Moy, and we're already seeing Corinthians settle into that 4-5-1. Now Smith manages to get past Fernandez, plays it wide. McCabe's unmarked here. Ball across the box. Ferreira meets it. It's going to fall back to McCabe. Jacqueline can't stop the ball in. Tamires heads away at the far post. And that will bounce out for an Arsenal throw. Mead can't quite keep it in her grasp. But we'll come and let Emily Fox take it. Fox tries to go down the line. Cut out well there by Ana Vittoria. A new signing specifically for this competition and for the new season, obviously. It's coming and just been that screen behind the midfield in front of the defence. Ruben Moy stepping up into midfield well, still driving Ruben Moy. Russo, Caldente, now McCabe. Spreads it wide. Smith now wants to take players on. Fernandez stands her up. Smith keeps going. Jacqueline back in support as well now, and they've doubled up on the Arsenal wide player, and it's poked out of play by Jacqueline.
Yeah, the pace of Arsenal at the moment is causing a lot of problems for Corinthians. Too many Arsenal players are finding it quite easy just to drift in and out of trouble. Moving Moy there, picked the ball up as the right centre half and just managed to float past 2 or 3 players before being challenged. So she has given it away here.
And now they can look to come forward. Sampao into Aquino. Holds on to it well. Ruben Moy with an important tackle. And then Vittoria not able there to make the challenge. The referee in her way. Mead forced backwards into Emily Fox. And now Little. Knocks it across into Steph Catley. Catley knocks it wide. Here is Smith. Caldente. Smith. And Lotta Ruben Moy out towards the right-hand side. Fox. Now wide into Beth Mead. Knocks it inside. Axtenius. Mead. Feeds it through. Headed away well by Tejes. Poke through from Fox into Russo in the box. Big save from Letitia. Off her line quickly. And that's a great stop from the Corinthians keeper.
Yeah, Letitia is going to be called into action by Arsenal quite often tonight. And this is a big save. It's really good from Fox. Pokes it through to Russo, who does well to ride the challenge.
Tejes just steps up, misses it. Fox pokes it through her legs. Russo able to break then in behind. Tamira has actually tried to take her out for the penalty. Letitia did brilliantly there, getting in front of that effort. Important save early on, and they needed that. I mean, we saw how quickly they conceded as far, and that just gave them such little belief.
Yeah.
And Arsenal really kicked on from there. But if Corinthians can keep this quiet, like they did against Gotham, can hold on to the clean sheet for as long as possible, it makes life really difficult. Fernandez round the corner, looking for Duda Sampao. Lovely stuff from Sampao. Now spreading the play, and Aquino's in behind here. Fox will go with her. Aquino wants to dart towards Scarles, standing up. Her well is Fox. Ball across the box. It bounces through Zanotti. Battles. And Little will get there. Fox picked off by Aquino and cleared away. But that was messy from Arsenal. Corinthians unable to capitalise.
Yeah, the Gunners lucky to get away with it. Lovely play from Corinthians. And as the ball came across the box here, it was Ruben Moy who just misjudged it. Went under her foot. And lucky for her, it was Catley who was behind her to deal with it. And then again, they tried to play out. Fox overplaying it and got dispossessed. Arsenal get away with one there.
Indeed. So can they create anything from this position? Andressa Alves feels she was fouled there. And that has been picked off. Little now touches it down. Fernandez steps in. Good intensity here from Corinthians. Zanotti takes aim. Just over, almost finding the Corinthians faithful behind the goal. But Corinthians giving as good as they're going to get in this game. Great anticipation there from Fernandez, stepping up from right back into midfield. Zanotti's strike. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't far away either. And you can see the loyal support there, draped in black and white, filling the far end.
Yeah, great to see. But good reaction from Corinthians. It was a slow start. They're under pressure. Letitia's forced into a big save.
It's one back again there by Duda Sampao. Plays it into Zanotti. Great hold up there from the experienced forward. Fernandez back to Zanotti. Tidy touch inside. Jacqueline. Now to Alves. Fernandez overlapping. Ball into the box. Headed away. And a cheeky attempt there from Sampao to try and pluck it out the air, but she's unsuccessful. And now there's space because they're exposed. Anna Vittoria gets back in brilliantly and deals with Arsenal as they try and drive the ball forwards.
Yeah, we're already seeing that Corinthians work rate is clear to see. Working very hard, giving it everything. Of course, that will tire. You'd think that would lower as the game goes on, and that's when Arsenal could potentially unlock them. But right now, if they keep working at this rate, they're going to keep themselves in the game.
It was kind of what happened on Wednesday. Gotham started to come into the game a lot more in the second half, but they just couldn't quite find a route to goal. Russo brought down there. And Chris Lazar being a little too honest before. That was a little too dishonest. You feel? Made the most of that. Saw the trailing leg. To be fair, there was a stand. It didn't look like she'd actually touched her, Alves, but that was a foul.
Yeah, just a lazy trip, really. Probably didn't need to do that. Russo not really going anywhere, just dangles a leg and catches it. And Corinthians have got a set piece to contend with.
And so it's Beth Mead over this. Who can she pick out in the penalty area? Floating it in towards the back post and out comfortably Letitia to punch it away.
Brilliant goalkeeping. I don't mind that she's punched that. Convincing, doesn't take the risk. And gets it, puts it out for a throw. Don't mind that at all.
Indeed. Mariona Caldente runs herself into trouble, pokes it to McKay, back towards Caldente, picked off by Fernandez. Jacqueline. Fernandez just getting caught there on the ball by Smith, who will drive wide with it now. Fernandez stands her up, wants to engage, forced back to McCabe. Caldente. And now Catley. Caldente rolls left, gives it to Smith, plays it to McCabe. Back now to Catley. McCabe. Catley. And that's picked off by Fernandez, and they'll look to break now. Jacqueline nutmegs McCabe. Zanotti, great hold up with Moy quick on her back. And you get that they want to be somewhat cautious today, but no one really got forwards there as Jacqueline drove it forwards. Fernandez. Fernandez. Now to Catley. Catley. And that's picked off by Fernandez, and they'll look to break now. Jacqueline nutmegs McCabe. Zanotti, great hold up with Moy quick on her back. And you get that they want to be somewhat cautious today, but no one really got forwards there as Jacqueline drove it forwards.
Yeah, there just seems to be a couple of moments where Corinthians get caught in two minds. Sometimes they push up when they probably shouldn't, and sometimes they sit deep when their teammates need their support. And I think they just need to find a way to strike that balance and get that correct.
Catley now on this left-hand side. Plays it into Kim Little, who's going to spread it wide. And here's Smith on the touchline. What can she make happen? Back now to Catley. McCabe turns. Here's Smith. Caldente back towards Olivia Smith. And her cross blocked well by Jacqueline. There'll be a corner now for Arsenal.
Yeah, good spell from the Gunners, keeping Corinthians under pressure, not allowing them to settle, which is exactly what they need to do. If you let these kind of sides get into their system, it's going to become harder to break them down. But it's a positive start from Arsenal. That being said, Corinthians have done well just to see through the first 10 minutes, as long as they can get this corner clear.
So we know Arsenal haven't been incredible from set piece. They did have more joy on Wednesday against Asfar. And they catch Corinthians out here. Mead lays it to Mariona Caldente. Back towards Mead. He tries to open up for the cross. Plays it into McKay. Back towards Caldente. Back-heeled into the path of Beth Mead. And the cross isn't great. That probably a little overplayed. The ball's knocked in behind. And Aquino here is just going to drive it forwards. Fox the only player back. No support for her though. In this position, Aquino drives inside now. Looks dangerous. Switch the play. Looking for Zanotti. The recovering Little. Heading it away. Brilliant from Aquino though. Drove it forwards. Waited for an option to emerge. And the ball needed a little bit more height on it to get it away from Kim Little.
Yeah, don't mind that at all. Trying that switch was their only option. Potentially could have held on for it for a bit longer, but I think that allowed more Arsenal players to get back than Corinthians players to get forward.
Mead now inside to Kim Little. Ruben Moy across to Catley. McCabe. Arsenal now going from left to right, and it's Mead who's dropped into that right back position. Poor pass from Russo, and Zanotti picks up on the loose pass. Duda Sampao. Now Tamires. Going to be forced backwards there. Tamires. Here's Tejes. Clipping it forward. Headed down by Little. Picked off by Tamires. Ran out of play, though, by the left back. Apologies if it just looked like it was a earthquake in it. Back now to Ruben Moy. Here's Catley. Plays it to Ruben Moy again. They'll look to progress down the right-hand side. Fox. Driving inside now. Back to Lotta Ruben Moy. And now Catley. Caldente. Carries it forwards. Cuts out well by Fernandez. And now they'll look to drive it forward. Jacqueline. Zanotti. Loses at 50-50 with Smith. Back now to Caldente. Little. Caldente carries it forwards. Skips past Andressa Alves out to the right-hand side. Fox wider still to me. Tamires tries to narrow the angle. Ball floated in there. And that will bounce through. And out for a goal kick.
Again, a little bit overhit from Beth Mead this time. Arsenal having all the ball but just struggling to find a way through. And apart from that Russo chance, which was saved by Letitia, the Gunners haven't really threatened in these opening 13 minutes. Of course, plenty of time to go, but we know Arsenal's record against low blocks is that they find it quite difficult to break them down.
Tejes trying to play to the left-hand side. Fox wins the header. Zanotti. Yeah, they can do. I think Corinthians... Oh, that's brilliant from Tejes. And then makes the mistake. Blackstenius is in. Big stop. Smith now. And it's in. And that's a big mistake from Tejes. And Arsenal capitalise. Just as we speak about them struggling to break them down. It's a huge mistake at the back from Tejes. Blackstenius can't finish it off. It's saved well by Letitia. But it falls for Smith. whose efforts is rifled home. And it's Arsenal 1, Corinthians 0.
Yeah, they're the moments that can change finals. It's a big mess. Big mess at the back. Just gets stuck in her feet. She doesn't really realise that she already won the ball. Then the pass back is too weak. Another big save from Letitia to deny Blackstenius. And I tell you what, the two defenders are unlucky on the line. Smith firing straight at them. They get a touch on it, but can't quite keep it out.
Yes, Fernandez there. He gets in front of it, but it just trickles really into the bottom corner. Tejas just gets all mixed up, and it falls for Smith, and it's deflected in. They capitalise really well there, Arsenal, on a Corinthians error. And Corinthians, who were so flawless against Gotham, make a big mistake early on here. Arsenal 1, Corinthians 0.
It started the first 15 minutes really strong, and they've done well to keep Arsenal quiet. But yeah, that's a costly error.
Letitia sends it forward, flicked on by Zanotti. Looking for Tamires overlapping. It's going to drop in there for Zanotti. And that is a soft foul. Don't think Zanotti really did much there to send Beth Mead falling over. But a free kick to Arsenal nonetheless.
Yeah, so not much in it.
Catley. Into Smith. Now Catley. Here's Caldente. McCabe. Wides now. What can Smith do up against Fernandez? Comes inside. Back to Catley. Caldente. Carries it forward. Smith tries to chop in again. Falls back to Caldente. Ruben Moy. Now McCabe. This does give a platform now for Arsenal just to control this game, really. Smith breaking into the penalty area. Cut across the box. Tejas deals. Mead now. Saved well. And cleared by Tamires. Just didn't deal with that ball, and Fox barrels over Aquino. Now be a free kick to Corinthians.
Again, good football from Arsenal. Smith does really well on this left-hand side, beats two players, cuts the ball back, ball isn't dealt with, Mead strikes it well, and that's another big save from Letitia, who is unlucky to have conceded because she's pulled off some brilliant saves already in this game.
Andressa Alves out to the left-hand side. Tavira unable there to find a teammate. Tried to go down the line to Aquino. Aquino, though, not able to get there. Alves, strong tackle to stop that getting through to Beth Mead.
Corinthians are still in this game, but the problem is that when you are the underdog, you kind of need something to defend. And at 0-0, you're in the game and you've got something to fight for. But at 1-0, you know you've got to respond. You've got to find a way back into it, which isn't always easy to do.
Throw in them. Mead. Back to Fox. Catley now. Plays it to Mariona Caldente. Pass through the lines to McCabe. Here's Blackstenius and chooses the unselfish option, but probably should have turned and gone for goal there.
Yeah. And even if you are going to pass, it's got to be a better ball than that. Lovely football from Arsenal. And yeah, Blackstenius just rushes it way too overhit.
Yeah, there's no way that pass was ever going to work because you take any more off it and the defender's going to get there. And so, now build out from the back. Now with Ferreira. Now Letitia. And that pass the left-hand side. Not finding anyone. Fox. Back across from Ruben Moy into Catley. Caldente, back to Catley. Caldente, that's cut out well. Zanotti, Sampao touches it down the line. Here's Jacqueline now. What can she make happen up against Catley? Plays it across. Zanotti slips. Can't make the contact she would have wanted to. Russo carrying that ball forwards. Tries to play it forwards and it's cut out again by Fernandez. Jacqueline to Duda Sampao, who will take aim! And it's tipped onto the bar by Borba. And that is the kind of quality we've come to expect from Duda Sampao. Vittoria lays it off and Sampao just strikes it. Driving power through it, but aims it into the top corner and Borba pushing it onto the bar. Brilliant from Borba and Sampao unlucky there not to bring them level.
What a save that is. Outside of the right boot. Caught it so nicely. And Borba's done incredibly well to get to that one.
And so, corner now, delivered into the area. Header on target. Is it bundled home? I think so. Yes, it is. Arsenal 1, Corinthians 1. Referee indicates it's crossed the line. And Corinthians from the corner level up here at the Emirates. And look at the emotions from the travelling support. A sea of black and white erupts as Aquino touches it over the line. And it's Arsenal 1, Corinthians 1.
They won't care how it's come about. Jubilation amongst the Corinthians players. It's a ball put into a dangerous area. It's a good header on goal. I think it was initially saved by Borba. Let's have a look. Saves it well. Went over anyway from the initial header before it was poked home.
Just poked over again. But Borba she doesn't stand firm enough here. It's headed at her and she falls backwards as she's trying to push it away and it comes over the line with her and Aquino on hand to poke it over the line anyway. And even if that wasn't given, someone kicks it in the net for good measure.
Yeah.
But it goes over. Aquino knees it in. Russo kicks it out of the goal. I don't know how they thought that was going to be stopped. And Zanotti kneeing it down. And then, I think, kicking it in the back of the net for good measure. But Corinthians level here. What a moment. And Arsenal make a right mess of defending that set piece. And Gavi Zanotti credited with the goal. Goal scorer. Winning goal scorer in the semi-final, brings them level in the final.
Yeah, Arsenal again, kryptonite comes from set pieces. They've done well, they've done the hard part. They've been they pounced on the error, got the goal against a side that are going to be defensively solid and took the lead, and you thought they just had to kick on from there, but being pegged back, almost 10 minutes later, and suddenly it's game on once again in this final.
Here's Emily Fox now. And she create room for the cross. She does so, fired in towards the near post. Letitia claiming it comfortably. Lets it drop to the floor. And we'll collect it as Rousseau puts a bit of pressure on. And rolls it short into Tejes. But that gives Corinthians something to fight for again.
Yeah.
And they've not started badly here. Tamirez on the left-hand side. Can't quite keep that in play, but it did come off Beth Mead. So that will be a throw-in now.
Tamirez had a couple of awkward ones on that left-hand side. Just ball ran out of play or weirdly couldn't mean the pass to her there wasn't brilliant. It was looped up in the air and difficult to deal with, but it's just been a couple of weird moments. Got to be careful it doesn't catch them out.
Ball played in behind, and they're going to get in behind Wubben-Moy here. Aquino gets there. Wubben-Moy, did she get enough of the ball? She did. Aquino down injured. And Corinthians players there are furious. And Mead knocking it out of play. Aquino's down here. She was in on goal. Did Wubben-Moy win the ball? I think she touched the ball there. It's unfortunate for Aquino. She catches Aquino on the follow through. But I think she does get the ball. It's a great challenge from Lotte Wubben-Moy. She was undone by that ball over the top. But Aquino just couldn't quite get there before Wubben-Moy was able to make the challenge. We do have VAR in operation, so if it was a foul, I'm sure that would have been picked up on. But Arsenal get us back underway. Here's Catley. Now McCabe. Catley again. Wubben-Moy. Back to Beth Mead. McCabe sending it forwards. Caldente heads it on. It's cleared away by Ferreira. Back to Caldente. Russo turns. Firm but fair from Ana Vittoria to win it back. And they'll play out now. Tejas, Tamires, held up well by Zanotti. Turned round the corner looking for Aquino. But Fox will get there. It's the problem. When Aquino runs at Fox, it's not going anywhere. When they get Aquino running or running in behind Lotte Ruben-Moy, that's where the dangers come so far in this game. Or on the right-hand side, to be fair. They've got Jacqueline in that space behind McCabe a few times. And that's, of course, what created the chance that led to the corner.
But Stennis had a difficult 25 minutes. And another one there, Bolton fizzed into her. She's just tried to quickly rush it around the corner and got it wrong. There's been a couple of misplaced passes. Obviously, yes, Olivia Smith did end up scoring the second bite of the cherry, but it was her strike that really probably should have gone in, one-on-one with Letitia after the error. But, yeah, not been the 25 minutes back Stennis would have hoped for in this game.
Little. Forced back by Alves. Alves not unhappy that that's been given as a free kick. Happy to move on with it.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do. Don't need to get involved in any off the ball or get involved in the physicality of the game.
Jumped on a little. It was given fairly as a free kick. What can Arsenal make happen from this? Lots of Vi Corinthians in the live chat. You love to see it. Very vocal in their support. Ball in towards the area, headed away well. And it's Fernandez who will get there first. Can drive this ball forward. 4 Corinthians played inside looking for Alves. McKay picks it off. Zanotti now. And a free kick there awarded against Alves. And this one she will complain about. Trying to perhaps use that little bit of goodwill she may have earned.
Yeah, I think she was just saying, I'll admit to the first one, but not to that one.
No, I think she's wrong.
Yeah, she catches McCabe on the way through.
I mean, usually you can tell by which way the ball goes whether she's made any contact with it.
Yeah.
There's no chance she's made contact with that.
No, not at all. I mean, McCabe did do 3 or 4 rolls for dramatic effect, but it's still a foul.
Yeah. If anything, I think those rolls have kept Alves out of the book.
Yeah, maybe.
McCabe with this free kick then. Can they do a better job with this one than they did the last? Floated in there. Nope, headed away by Zanotti. And Fox looking to keep this move alive. Into Caldente. Now Fox. To Caldente. And that lifted over the top. Russo makes the one run wide. Cuts it across the blocks. Blocked well by Vittoria and cleared away then by Ana Vittoria. Going to drop in there now for Zanotti, who battles away for possession. Brilliant work from Gabby Zanotti. And now Tamires. Love that combination. 2 players, the combined age of 78. Out on the pitch today. Still going strong. Here's Smith. Clipping it into the area. Headed away well. Strike from Mariona Caldente over the bar.
Yeah, just got under it. Caldente didn't quite bring it down the way she wanted to. And that has been clubbed well over the bar. And Arsenal, again, set pieces letting them down and trying to recycle it, keep it alive, and not quite the answers they were looking for. They're going to struggle to win a header in that box. Corinthians have got a lot of presence and a lot of aerial solidity. It's not as easy as just put the ball in the box and hope to head one home. They're going to have to work for it a bit harder than that, Arsenal.
Ball out to the right-hand side. Now, bounce out of play for a throw-in. I think it took a nick off an Arsenal player. Fernandez. Then to Sampao, back to Fernandez. Short on options, trying to flick it down the line, and that's out of play. And Arsenal's pressure there is making it really difficult for Corinthians to play out.
Yeah.
McCabe. She just knocked it forwards rather than trying to flick it. It probably would have hit an Arsenal player and gone out for a Corinthians throw. Catley. Into Caldente. That's a misplaced pass. Errors forced both ways by the press. Fernandez. Okay, cuts it out and sends it forwards. And Tejes slips and the opportunity seized by Blackstenius, carrying it forwards. Wide now to Mead, up against Tamires. Through the lines, Russo, Blackstenius, block wide. Corner now for Arsenal.
Again, errors at the back, allowing Arsenal to come forwards. Another slip in there. It is quite slippy, raining. Got to be able to read those kind of situations and conditions. Well laid off by Russo. Charged down, though, by Anna Vittoria. Brilliant block to get in front of that one.
Yeah, indeed. Excellent work. Corner now, and Mead and Caldente over it short. And you wonder if they'll go short again in this game. It does go short to Caldente, who lays it to McCabe, who's going to clip it in towards the back post. Again, headed away. This time by Tamires. They're yet to win an aerial duel, I think, Arsenal, in this game.
Yeah.
Especially from these attacking set pieces. I wonder if they can start to try and do something different with them.
Yeah.
Little. Into Steph Catley. Now Smith. Beats Fernandez to Caldente. Back towards Smith. Gets around Fernandez. Cuts it across goal. And Ferreira blocks it well. Lovely move from Smith. The give and go with Caldente. Executed wonderfully. Just didn't quite create the space for the shot.
Yeah, Smith's really come alive in this one. Obviously got the goal, but overall just looks pretty sharp. Arsenal playing quickly and playing short once again. Let's see if this can go any different.
Clips it in there, and it's Alves who punches. Smith looks to hook it back in, and Russo's header squared wide, and the offside flag up in the aftermath.
Yeah, think it was on the earlier one. And Letitia does go down there, potentially feeling, I think she maybe got caught after she punched it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it could have been any phase of that, really. It was a lot of scrambling in the penalty area. Either way, Corinthians now will need to use the medical team here for their goalkeeper, Letitia. But it's been a really well-spirited performance, really, for Corinthians. Much similar to their game against Gotham, where they want it. There's a desire, there's an intensity out there. They've had opportunities. Duda Sampao letting fly with a venomous effort. And obviously that goal bundled over the line. And this is what I mean about Annika Borba. She's had some fantastic moments, but you do feel there's that kind of moment in her locker.
Yeah.
Very young goalkeeper, very experienced goalkeeper, so you can't blame her too much. But she should do better there. Arsenal should do a lot better dealing with set piece. Absolutely. It's really poor defending, again, on a set piece from Arsenal. But a goalkeeper should be able to claim that, all right? And she just doesn't. She just shrinks a little bit in those moments when you have these sort of shots going all over the place. She's fantastic, acrobatic and athletic, and she gets to them. But it's those ones where it's close to her and there's a lot of players in proximity where she doesn't command her box very well.
Yeah, she wasn't set right for that one. That's why she's parried it. But she and the ball have gone backwards. That's all about weight distribution as a goalkeeper. If she's on her toes and on the front foot, she can jump forwards at the ball and jump into it and catch it, or jump into it and palm it away. But instead, she's caught flat-footed, and then the ball comes to her, and she's just tried to parry it up and not got enough behind it and fallen back into the goal. But as you say, that's something that comes with experience. An experienced goalkeeper is up there and ready to go towards the ball. Whereas perhaps that inexperience there just wasn't ready to, get towards the ball before the ball was on her.
Great hold up there from Zanotti, now into Alves, who'll bounce it back into Tejes. Looking for a forward pass. She looks to play it in behind. Fox heads it away. Little. And that pass towards Beth Mead, misplaced. And now Corinthians will look to build through the team, flicked on by Sampao. Caldente, and the live chat is just a sea of Vi Corinthians and Go Corinthians. Otieno trying to level it out with the Go on Gunners.
I think pre-match and after, and for the first 20 First 15, 20 minutes. So that's another, well recovered there by Tejes. Got caught out initially by the ball in. Thought Russo was in behind that. But does well.
Yeah, Little just trying to feed it, and Sampao, I think, got the touch in there. It just didn't work out, but Tejes really good defending.
It was mid removing her gloves. Did well there to read the situation. Oh no, sorry, putting them back on. Did well to get in there and make the challenge. But yeah, I think the first 15 minutes, Arsenal fans were very loud and very proud. But as this game's gone on, the Corinthians faithful are starting to dig deep in this one.
And something you don't often see at the highest level, but Tejes was trying to do her laces there. Tamira's on hand to help her out. That's why she's taken her gloves off. And now they are ready to continue. Corner for Arsenal. Caldente to McCabe. Here's Mead, who's going to whip it in there. Bounces through. Letitia makes the save. Reads it really well and reacts to claim it gracefully to her chest. Just bounces through. I think it takes a nick off Russo. I'm not even sure how much she knows about it. That's a good header.
That is brilliant centre forward play.
Save.
Brilliant centre forward play from Russo.
Yeah, absolutely.
The run is incredible. The header is well weighted. She knows exactly what she needs to do. Just glance it goalwards. I don't know how much Letitia knew about it, but the reactions to save that one, incredible. Another massive stop from the Corinthians goalkeeper.
Catley. Caldente, back to Catley.
I said she'd be busy tonight, but that's 4 or 5 saves I've got her at now. Top draw saves.
That's a great pick off from Jacqueline. McCabe on hand though to win it back. Here's Blackstenius. Ferreira comes wide to deal. Smith loses out to Fernandez. Manages to win it back. Little clumsy in there between Alves and Smith. Now to the right-hand side. Fox overlapping. Drilled into the area. Well dealt with by Duda Sampo. Who tries to drive it out. Tamira's on hand to pick the safe option.
Yeah, bit of a collision there between Alves and Smith. And Alves still not happy at all with the referee.
Yeah, it's one of those where you could probably see it given either way, as they both seem to run into each other. But I think nothing is probably the right call there. Aquino dealing well with Fox as she tried to drive inside. Otieno asking who scored for Corinthians. It was Gabby Zanotti, we think. No idea in the corner, but it has been credited to Zanotti. Caldente. Now McCabe. Driving it forwards. Rousseau flicked around the corner. Can't find Little. Catley on hand to pick up the loose pass. Ruben Moy. Now to Fox. Ball in, looking for Russo. Headed away well. Little and Zanotti battling her way through there and clears it away.
Yeah, really well done by Zanotti again, defending from the front. Corinthians know how important it is that they get through to half-time now. Arsenal will look to put the pressure on as Corinthians start to tire. But it's vital that the away side can try and get through to the interval. Only 7 minutes to go. Can't imagine we're going to have 2 minutes of stoppage time either. They want to get to half-time still at 1-1. Arsenal will try and take the lead and go into that break lead ahead in this final.
McCabe back now to Catley. Little. Back to Steph Catley. Now to Ruben Moy. Here's Beth Mead. Wide now to Fox. Ruben Moy. The Arsenal we saw on Wednesday, the Arsenal we saw in the first 20, possibly 15 minutes here, were moving the ball really well. We're creating chances freely and utilise the space they had available. The Arsenal we're watching now is more like the Arsenal we've seen all season. Chance now for Blackstenius, turns and lashes at it. They move it so slowly and they're not pulling this Corinthians team apart. And yeah, Corinthians are incredibly well disciplined, but it's not difficult to be that when the opposition are just so sluggish.
Yeah.
And and not breaking down Corinthians and not moving the ball quick enough, really, to exploit the spaces. Goal kick now with Letitia.
Yeah, so Corinthians doing very well to take the time out this half. Rightfully so. They're going to take their time. They're no rush.
Punted straight to Olivia Smith. I think was aiming for Jacqueline. Fernandez drags her down. Free kick Arsenal in a good position. I think that may as well be a yellow card for the Corinthians right back. It is indeed.
Yeah, costly from all involved there. Poor kick. She did well to take the time out of the game there, Letitia, but picked out Smith perfectly. And then as she looked to glide past Fernandez, she just brought her down and will be the first player into the book. Really good for Smith. As I say, I think it's probably one of Smith's best halves in an Arsenal shirt. It's looked very, very sharp. Has the goal to boot as well. And we're hoping to add more and get Arsenal across the line here.
Katie McCabe over this one. Who can she find with the delivery? Clipped into the box, bounces through, and there's a foul in there. Given the way of Corinthians, not sure what was what, but the referee adamant and no one really complaining.
Yeah, I was going to say they're very certain in her decision there, the referee. Must have been something that she'd seen.
Tejas. Corinthians now moving it to the right-hand side. Good hold up there from Jacqueline Ferreira. Ball clipped forwards and Letitia picked up by Mariona Caldente. A pass inside, cleared away well by Tamires. McCabe misjudges it. Zanotti tries to get there. Catley sweeping up McCabe's mistake, and Alves lashing that one out of play. Letitia's not happy there, but it was her poor distribution that saw them get caught out.
Yeah. They're feeling it a little bit. Obviously, the first 25 minutes to and fro, and they did have a couple of Forest forward, but the last 15 minutes or so has all been one-way traffic in terms of the possession and the territory. Arsenal haven't threatened too badly, but Corinthians have still been under pressure.
McCabe into Catley. Caldente back to Catley. And now Lotte Wuvenmoy. Alex asks, is the women's transfer window ending tomorrow, or can Arsenal spend any prize money from winning this? Well, the transfer window doesn't end until Tuesday. However, it's very unlikely Arsenal will do anything in the market this January. Caldente drilling it into the box, and that headed wide from Russo. I know that will be frustrating for some Arsenal fans, and that's absolutely understandable, but I think with such uncertainty in the summer as to who will stay and who will go, with so many contracts expiring, it makes sense not to spend anything now. Because you go, well, they need a midfielder, but actually if they end up renewing, if they renew Little, and I don't know, Palova has a fantastic second half of the season, they want to renew her, then do they need a midfielder?
Yeah.
Potentially not. So it makes sense at the moment just to leave things as they are, rather than bring players in who won't play loads in the second half of the season, because there's still lots of players here who need to leave, who will be moved on in the summer. So yeah, here's McCabe. Back towards Catley. Cross to Lotte Wuvenmoy. And wide now into Emily Fox. Arsenal looking to create something here. Fox beats her fullback, puts it into the box. Ooh. No one able there to put the shot on target. It was behind Russo, and Smith couldn't adjust either.
Yes, a great ball flashed across by Fox, and as you say, Russo couldn't meet it. Blackstenius was probably the best chance. I think he might actually hit Blackstenius' hand on the way through. Get a better look here. Yeah, I think they just clip up and hit her arm, which actually in the end took it away from Olivia Smith. So I say Corinthians just trying to make it through now to the break. Only a minute till half time.
Picked off there, trying to power from the back, and Russo unable to capitalise. Ferreira into Fernandez, touched on. to Sampao, who loses out to McCabe. Now Caldente in a load of space. Mariona Caldente feeds it into Russo. Ferreira stands her up. Russo shifts it across. Fox now wider to Mead. Tamirez out to her quickly. Beth Mead straight to the goalkeeper. And she's furious with herself there. She knows she had to do better with that opportunity. And a big chance goes begging for Beth Mead.
Yeah, really good defending for Corinthians to shuffle them out wide. But as you say, Mead had space.
Got inside on Tamirez. Once you're in this pocket, you've got all the goal to aim at. But it's straight at Letitia.
Got to do better there. Got to do much better.
Out wide now with Mead again. 2 minutes of additional time in this first half. Kim Little. Driving it to the left-hand side. Catley. Now McCabe. Fernandez beaten by Smith. Smith inside. Touched on by Blackstenius. Fernandez gets back in there. And that's poked out of play brilliantly by the fullback, who's got to be careful on a card. But makes a good challenge there.
Again,
it's great from Smith, who's just been Arsenal's most positive player throughout this game. Always wanting to make something happen. Looking dangerous. Already got the goal as well, of course. And what a signing I think Smith will turn out to be eventually. Not been the best or not been the perfect start to life in North London, but has shown glimpses of what she's capable of. Mead's ball in, headed away well by Alves. And Tamirez is going to bust a gut to get there, and she will. And that is phenomenal from Tamirez. And they'll come forwards now, Corinthians. Aquino in behind. She'll look to switch the play. Beth Mead on hand to win it back. That was too ambitious from the fullback. Fernandez stepping in well. Zanotti. Into Jacqueline. Sampao caught there. And that felt like it had malice in it from Steph Catley. Stepped in late and lumped in to do the Sampao.
Yeah, really good reaction for Corinthians. All came from an Arsenal corner, by the way. Again, another one wasted. But they did well, and I think...
Well, it came as well from Fox, sort of being quite naive to how aggressive Tamirez wanted that ball. You know, her intensity, because she actually sprinted at that, and it was quite casual from Fox as she sauntered over, and Tamirez came from miles away with the slide tackle and won it brilliantly. Free kick now. Can the Corinthians take the lead before the break? Ball into a good area, headed away. It will be kept alive now by Tamirez, but I think that will be an offside flag. It's there, and it's half-time in this game. Arsenal 1, Corinthians 1. A well-contested, competitive start to this FIFA Women's Champions Cup final. Arsenal taking the lead for Olivia Smith as she capitalised well, whereas Arsenal capitalised well on some sloppy play at the back. But Corinthians bounced back immediately. A brilliant shot from Duda Sampao tipped over the bar, and the resulting corner headed home by who else but Zanotti. Big moments in this game so far. Corinthians, though, have given them a fantastic fight in this game. And at the break, it's all square. Arsenal 1, Corinthians 1.
Exactly what we wanted to see from the Women's Champions Cup final. A really, really even game. Arsenal having the majority of the ball, but both sides having chances in this game. And as you say, I think that Corinthians done very, very well to take the game to Arsenal, make it difficult for them, make them work for it. Of course, Letitia has been instrumental for Corinthians, made some massive saves to keep this game level, but they took their chance, Corinthians, to level up immediately. Thought they'd lost their way a little bit by conceding, but they bounced back, got back on the horse, got the equaliser, and now it's all to play for as we go into half-time. That was the key moment for me, that 10-minute spell before the break where they were under a lot of pressure. Arsenal were moving the ball well, were repeatedly putting the ball into the area, testing them with shots, testing them with crosses, but they managed to hang on to it. They've got into the break at half-time, and they can go again in the second half to try and win the FIFA Women's Champions Cup. But a really strong performance from Corinthians. They're holding Arsenal well here. The Gunners have had some good passengers, but also some sloppy moments and some poor moments, especially the goal conceded from the corner. But on the whole, a really, really well contested final by both teams.
It's the same intensity, desire and ferocity really that we saw saw Corinthians contest Gotham with on Wednesday. they want it. They've got that desire. They've got that passion. Every challenge is well timed, but there's effort behind it. There is desire behind it. You know, every drive forwards has intention, has belief behind it, and they're going that extra mile. They have that extra bit of belief. Every ball into the area is headed away convincingly and latched on, and they're so, they're so desperate almost to get to every single ball. I think what you've got as well is that it's not just a side of lump it and hope. You've got some really technically gifted players, but a full squad of players who will give their absolute all for this team. You know, the back line isn't anything flashy really, but they're all good enough with the ball at their feet, and they're all physical. The midfield is just so technically strong in there with Vittoria and Sampaio, but not only are they both physical players, but you've then got Andressa Alves, who is a real utility player, real scary midfielder, in a sense. Both the wide players, Jacqueline and Aquino, have looked dangerous when they can get on the ball, and Zanotti has been so good at holding it up, and it all comes together so well. And their brand of football may not be beautiful to everyone, but I think it's incredibly effective. They're able to be physical. They're able to be very impactful on the opposition, impose themselves on the opposition. But when they do get the ball, they get the ball down and they play football. And there have been some really nice passages from Corinthians where they're built out from the back and progressed into the wide areas and looked to really hurt Arsenal. So it's not been a case of Arsenal peppering the goal with shots. Of course, Arsenal had opportunities, but Corinthians have raised their standards here, and they've been at Arsenal's level in that first half.
Yeah, exactly that. It's the perfect the perfect setup to play underdog football in a knockout match. Again, you've got those physical presences at the back. You've got the technical ability in the midfield and the front line to cause problems, and overall they work as a team. They take advantage of set pieces. They punish from really good areas, and they make it count when they do manage to get forwards. That 45 minutes was perfect. Underdog football in a final. That's exactly how it should be done, and we've seen teams get results like that in these type of matches by playing that way. If they can replicate that in the second 45 minutes, they've got a good chance of getting something out of this. Really, really well-oiled machine. Everyone understands their role. Everyone works for the team. It's a 110% effort as a unit defensively, and to spread the ball wide. And as you say, having that technical ability makes a difference when they come forwards, because they don't just run forwards and lose it. They've got players that can actually do something with it, and obviously that led, due to Sampaio's incredible strike, was tipped onto the bar by Borba, won the corner, and then from that corner they go and score. And finals are full of moments like that. And it just happens to be that Corinthians, when they got their chance, they took it. And Arsenal have been denied time and time again by Letitia, and probably should have, punished Corinthians for more by now. But take nothing away from the Brazilian side. They've been brilliant in that first half.
Yeah, as for that first goal, then watching back through the highlights, they pounced well Arsenal on that mistake. Smith on hand. It wasn't the best strike from Olivia Smith, but it found the back of the net.
Yeah, exactly that. I think that Blackstenius will be frustrated that she didn't do better with her strike. She did well, obviously, to get onto the end of the ball after the error, but probably should have scored herself. But yeah, Smith does well, hits it with enough power. It's a bit straight, and it does. Fernandez gets a foot to it, but can't keep it out. But it's the sheer power from it that beats the defenders. And Smith has had a really good half and deserved a goal.
Then that Sampaio strike, probably at the best effort of the first half, really. So much power, it creates this opportunity. Zanotti heading home. It did need to be scrambled in, but no doubt in the end that was a goal for Corinthians. It's a good header. Borba should do a lot better, but the bigger fault's got to come down to the Arsenal marking. What is going on in there?
Yeah.
It looks sheepish. There's so many players that duck there. There's so many players that shy away from it. When you think about how Corinthians have dealt with every set piece, they've been up there. They've been in the area. They've been wanting to meet the ball first. And then when you look at how Arsenal have attempted set pieces, they shy away from those duels. They shy away from winning it in the air, and it's been a difference. There's a big difference there, in terms of clearly detail. Corinthians have clearly put a lot of effort into both attacking and defending set pieces, whereas it doesn't seem to be something Arsenal put a lot of thought into. But also in that desire, Corinthians want to get to that ball. There's no option but to head that ball away or towards target for Corinthians. Whereas for Arsenal, that same level of desire, that same organisation on defensive set pieces, it just isn't really there.
Yeah, it's been a fundamental problem for Arsenal the whole season that they have not been very good at set pieces, both attacking and defending. And as you say, I think that it's a massive part of the game nowadays, especially in these kind of matches in knockout football. If you can score a goal from it, like Corinthians have, they're massive opportunities to find the back of the net. So for Arsenal to be as wasteful as they have been from corners, every corner's gone short. Every corner has then either been messed or doesn't end up going in the box, or it gets fired in the penalty area and they don't win it. So they've got to be better from set pieces, Arsenal, because they're getting quite a few corners and they're not making them count. It's a very easy out. That's why it's such a big thing now if you can score from them, especially against low blocks, because for a side like Corinthians tonight, while Arsenal aren't punishing or threatening from corners, they can keep kicking it out for corners, and then that's a fine way of dealing with it. But if Arsenal were threatening from set pieces, say it was a Man City, for example, putting it out for a corner would be as dangerous as keeping the ball in play. But because it's Arsenal, because their set pieces, they're not very good at set pieces, their success rate is really poor, putting out for a corner seems like no problem at all for Corinthians right now. And Arsenal have got to find a way to make that change. They've got to be more dangerous from set pieces, not only in this game, but just for the rest of the season. They're a massive part of football. They've got to learn how to take them better and to cause more problems for them. And defensively, as you say, marking was all over the place. Even if Borba had kept the initial shot in the goal, it was 3 Corinthians players would have got there before anyone in an Arsenal shirt would have been near the ball. So yeah, they've got to find a way of being better from set piece situations. That goes for free kicks and for corners, because this season, in this game, they've just not been good enough at them. So yeah, that's got to change. But Corinthians, the complete reverse, taking full advantage of it. And in this kind of game, as I say, scoring from corners, utilising set pieces, could be crucial to the destination of this trophy.
Yeah, I've been super impressed with Corinthians. There's incredible tactical discipline. They are a really gifted team. I think you've got, again, as I say, they've got a really nice combination of physical aggressors, but also players who are incredibly technically gifted, and some that sort of blur the lines between those two. And it's a really nicely composed squad. I think it's a very complementary squad. When we look at Arsenal, it's full of fantastic individuals, and there's no doubting that player for player, Arsenal have the better team.
Yeah.
But it doesn't function like this Corinthians team does, and that's why we're seeing that sort of quality difference be levelled out. That's why this game is level at the moment. Ultimately, if Arsenal's individuals can step up like they do, maybe they'll win this game. But Corinthians play as a team, and that is making such a difference so far in this game.
Yeah, exactly that. I think that you can have all the quality you want, but if you're out there for yourselves, or individuals aren't quite linking up and the errors are creeping in, then it doesn't matter. Corinthians, it's a unit, and I think you have to defend in that way in these kind of games. You have to be solid, because if one player sets out a line, you can be punished by a side like Arsenal. And then on the flip side, Arsenal, it's just not coming together in the front line. Smith's looked really, really good. Great performance from her. Russo's had chances, they've not gone in. I think Blackstenius has missed quite a few opportunities as well. Mead's another one who's missed quite a few opportunities, and the individuals aren't putting the ball into the back of the net. It's just not coming together for the Gunners in central areas. Corinthians, though, in those defensive zones, are doing really well to work together and to get the blocks in and to make it difficult for Arsenal. So yeah, it's absolutely imperative that in these kind of games, when you are the side who are going to be up against it, you stay together, you stick together, you work as a team, and you defend solidly as that well-oiled machine. And so far it's made it very difficult for Arsenal to get through.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm intrigued to see where this goes in the second half, whether Corinthians can continue this fight. What was incredibly interesting in the second half of the Gotham game was that we saw Corinthians run out of steam a bit, and actually Gotham, who didn't look sharp in the first half, start to create more opportunities. If Arsenal can raise that level, and we do see that Corinthians drop off, then maybe that's where those opportunities start to come from. But I think at the moment if Corinthians keep their level, there's no reason they can't win this game. I said at the start, I predicted a Corinthians win at the start of the show. I think everything we're seeing in that first half suggests the same thing, that if Corinthians play like they have, I think they'll win this game. And I mean, if both sides play like they have, I think Corinthians will win this game. If we do see that drop off from Corinthians, like we did in the first half, like we did in the second half, sorry, on Wednesday, if we see Arsenal raise that level to be closer to what we know we can expect to see from that Arsenal team, then that starts to shift again, and Arsenal will become the favourites. But I don't think Arsenal have been considerably better than Corinthians at all. I think Corinthians are going to have a fantastic game so far. So we'll see what happens. Few questions. Few people. Thomas saying these two are so biased towards Corinthians. Yeah, we're just diehard Corinthians fans. Under my shirt, I've just got like black and white tattoos. So yeah, via Corinthians. But no, I think it's been an incredibly competitive game of football. It's exactly what we wanted to see from this final. I think even if Arsenal go on to win this 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, whatever happens in the second half, I mean, unless it becomes like 5-1 or something, Corinthians are giving a really good account of themselves. And, we're looking towards that Club World Cup in 2028. We were incredibly disappointed with how little a fight Asfar gave on Wednesday. But Corinthians showing actually that there are teams outside of Europe and the NWSL that are able to compete in this competition. And I'd fully expect when we come around to that competition, which Corinthians are qualified for, that not only will they probably bring the best fan base, but they're going to put up a really good fight. They've got the team to compete. Now, I very much doubt that Tamires and Zanotti will be in that team.
Yeah.
You never know. If Tamires is playing at 38, why can't she play at 40? And if Zanotti's playing at 40, why can't she play at 42? But still, it's packed the quality of that Corinthians team, and hopefully, we've got the Brazilian World Cup coming up in 2027. We've got teams like Corinthians starting to establish themselves on the world stage. Could we be entering a real golden era of women's football in Brazil? What a fantastic thing that would be to witness.
Yeah, potentially so. It'd be really good to see, and what it leads to is that then they come into these tournaments and they bring the best out of the other side. Exactly what you want to see. We see too many times in these tournaments that, like Wednesday, as you say, you mentioned Wednesday that Arsenal could play at 70% to beat that Asfar side, but in this game, Arsenal having to play at their very top level, and Arsenal have played some really good football in this one because that's what that's what we want to see. We want to see two sides playing at their top level, and I think that Arsenal have had the chances in that game to in that first half, to win it, to win the game, and I think that they will probably kick on and look to confirm it. But Corinthians are going to push them all the way.
Really good change here from Renee Slegers. Blackstenius isn't getting that space in behind the Corinthians back line. Blackstenius is a big game player because she's great at exploiting space in behind defences. A game like tonight, though, there's no space in behind Corinthians. Bring on Frida Martin, which is what they've done. They'll push Russo into that striker position, and that gives them a little bit more. You still get sort of aerial threat potentially from Marnham or a good final third combination player.
Yeah.
But you put Russo into that striker position, and you hope to perhaps see the benefits of her pressing, but also her being able to hold the ball up and bring others into the game. As for Corinthians 99, Erica coming on to the field, I believe she is a defender, so potentially a replacement, I believe, for Fernandez. It would make sense considering she was booked in the first half. So Erica on at right back, and Corinthians get us back underway in this game. So changes for both sides in this contest. Ball headed on there well by Sampao, picked off by McCabe. Here's Russo dropping from that striker position, dispossessed though, and Erica's caught out early on here. Here comes Olivia Smith on the left-hand side. Options flooding the penalty area. Looks for the cut back to Little, and that's brilliant from Sampao to get back in there and lash it away.
Yeah, huge interception. Again, Olivia Smith pulling the strings out there this evening. Erica looks to clear it and smashed it straight into the Arsenal forward, who looked dangerous once again coming forwards, cuts it back nicely to Little, but a huge intervention there to stop the Arsenal captain getting on the end of it. But you feel that if Arsenal are going to win this final, it's going to come through Olivia Smith once again.
Now, Lotta Wubben-Moy. Here's Fox. Back to Wubben-Moy. And Catley now on the left-hand side. Back to Wubben-Moy. Drilling it wide to Mead, who holds the width well. Fox. Mead. Now Mariona Caldente. Mead. Caldente to Little. Little back to Caldente. And it's Beth Mead again, holding the width. Caldente tries to play it inside. Picked off in there well by Aquino. Falls back, though, into the possession of Arsenal. Here's Catley. Can Arsenal penetrate? Corinthians very much sat into a low block now. Ruben Moy perhaps learning from the game on Wednesday where they weren't able to bring the intensity as much in the second half. Martin ball across the box. And good goalkeeping there from Letitia, gets out to it well.
Yeah, again, Letitia is going to need to have a half very similar to that first 45 minutes. Made some brilliant saves to keep the scores level, and once again, doing well there to get out early and claim it. But as you say, I think Corinthians have got to try and find a way to be aggressive, be assertive, but as you say, you don't want to tire themselves out in 20 minutes' time, and then they're blowing and then they get caught out. They've got to be manageable with their work rate and their fitness.
This is why stuff like this is really good. Ball going along to Zanotti. Zanotti fouled fairly obviously by Lotte Ruben-Moy. Not much disguise on that, and it is a free kick. And that just gets them up the pitch a bit, and they can just settle on the ball. Goes all the way back to their goalkeeper, Letitia, of course. Tejas to Letitia. Is going to go long again. Headed on by Zanotti. And Catley wins the header straight back, though, to Zanotti, who beats Catley. Little tries to win it back. Andressa Alves puts it up in the air. Ruben-Moy wins the header unopposed. Header then again won, this time by Vittoria. And she steps up and the gap emerges, and here's Mariona Caldente. Shifts it into Frida Marnham. Options to her left and right, going towards the left-hand side. Smith now coming inside with the ball. Carrying it now horizontally. Little, and that's overhit to Mead, and she's furious that Mead doesn't make the run. Furious there from Kim Little.
Very rare you see Kim Little react like that. And to be honest, I have to agree with her. So I don't think that's overhit at all.
I think Mead can get there.
Yeah. Mead gives up on that, and Little's rightfully frustrated. I mean, perhaps reacting maybe a bit too aggressively, but yeah, very frustrated Kim Little there at Beth Mead for not getting on the end of that ball.
Arsenal feeling the pressures of being the favourites?
Potentially. I think that it is frustrating when you play against sides like Corinthians.
We saw the same happen for Gotham. I mean, there's a few Gotham players who just couldn't control their frustration.
Yeah, exactly. I think it can be difficult. The longer the game goes on, the more you want to score, and it just gets tiring. You get a physical side, a side that sit deep, make things difficult for you. It does get frustrating.
We haven't seen egregious fouls from Corinthians, but there are just little nibbles, little kicks here and there off the ball, and it's just unsettling Arsenal. It unsettled Gotham. It's unsettling Arsenal in the same way.
Yeah, it's the dark arts of football, and when it's your team doing it, it's fine and it's all right. When it's against you, you think it's the worst thing in the world, but that's just how it works. And again, here there's been a coming together, and I'm not really sure how this has happened. And I think that's what the referee is saying to Marnham. Marnham feels like she was fouled, but I think it was just a coming together. Neither didn't really see it. Again, it was off the ball. There's been a couple of moments like this, coming together off the ball.
Well, Fox plays it into Marnham. She goes back, and I think there, just trying to chase the ball was due to Sampao, and ends up just nudging into Marnham a little bit late. I'm not sure how Sampao gets hit in the face. I think it's the trailing, the arm back from Marnham. But
that's exactly what I mean by the dark arts. She's probably got there a little bit late, nudged into the back of Marnham, and then gone down. Yeah. Which, if you're Arsenal, is so frustrating. If you're Corinthians, it just takes time out of the game.
And that's how they're maximising those small margins, Corinthians, to sort of close the quality gap. It makes it's the way you've got to play if you want to be successful in this kind of game, where Arsenal have got players who are fitter, who are stronger, who are better than you, but you can close that gap by winning your battles, by being aggressive, by winning your duels. And by being effective when they do get into the final stage, which is what they've done so far.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's within the laws of the game relatively, and whether you think it's fair or not, I think that everyone can agree it's effective. I like some parts of that kind of side of the game. I dislike other parts, but on the whole, it's a very effective way of playing when you are the lesser side.
Ruben Moy. Back into Catley. McCabe around the corner from Caldente into Little. Marnham now trying to poke it through the lines. Ruben Moy picking up on the loose pass. Here come Arsenal. Ruben Moy knocks it wide into Mead. Little. McCabe through the line. Smashed away well.
And the one thing this is good for Arsenal as well is this is a good practice for the Champions League knockout tie versus Leuven. And although Leuven probably won't be as assertive and as physical, it's going to be another side who are going to play like underdogs, are going to sit deep, and are going to use everything they can in the playbook to stop Arsenal winning.
Mead goes back all the way to Steph Catley. Ruben Moy. Now Catley. Arrows it wide into Smith on the touchline. Who shimmies inside. And now lays it off to Mariona Caldente. Little. Wide into Ruben Moy. Wider still into Emily Fox. Drives inside with the ball. Now it's Ruben Moy. Beth Mead clips it in. Flicked on by Marnham. Now Russo takes aim and fires straight at Letitia. And as Alessia, I mean, she does well to take it in her stride. Well to turn. Should she do better with the finish here, Harry?
I think it's a good piece of defending. I'm going to let her off on that one. It's brilliant from Erica, who just sticks to her back, doesn't allow Russo to really turn the way she wants to, forces Russo to kind of drill it towards his near post where Letitia is stood and ready to go. Because I just don't think, because of the fact she's got a player on her back, I don't think Russo could really turn and look to go to the far corner there.
Here's Duda Sampao dropping into the back line. Letitia. That's a great knock to the right-hand side. Header one in there well by Edeka. Picked up on now by Jacqueline. And Zanotti tries to knock it round Catley, but Catley sees it out well.
Yeah, smart from Catley there. Just gave Zanotti half a yard. Obviously, usually you say don't give a striker space, but with the hold up, with the strength of Zanotti, if you're right on her back, she's either going to win a free kick or just knock it past you.
To use that, she'll roll off you, but giving her that yard, because she's not going to run past you.
Yeah.
There's no need to be touch tight with her.
No. And that's the difference between Catley and Ruben Moy there.
Understanding and reading of the situation. Mead plays it across, and Otti picks off the pass, but it falls back to Ruben Moy. Now we're starting to see a few fans putting "come on you Gunners" in the live chat. The Corinthians fans have died down a little bit now in the live chat. And a foul there from Emily Fox. And she's frustrated, but that'll be a Corinthians free kick.
Yeah, again, just another one of those scrappy moments that Corinthians can come away with a set piece from, take their time over it, roll it to the wrong place. Referee tells them they've got to send it backwards, which is exactly what they've done now. Thrown it 10 yards in front. Now Russo's going to knock it back, but that's just taken 10 seconds out of the game.
I know, it's just... That is incredibly egregious.
There is throwing it forward, and then there is just pelting it 15 yards further forward than it was.
Just throwing it into the other half.
Yeah.
Ball down the line, one back in there well. Bruno says the women's final is Corinthians versus Arsenal, and the men's final Corinthians versus Flamengo. Is that a big game for the Corinthians men's side? A lot going on there for Corinthians today. And yet more brilliant planning from FIFA. Here's Ruben Moy. Carrying it to the right-hand side. Mead drops to receive the ball. Nice pirouette in there from Beth Mead. Now Catley. Carrying it forwards. And it's Russo who drops to receive, looking for a pass to the right-hand side. Ruben Moy. And now Fox. Ruben Moy. Into Catley. Caldente, McCabe, back inside to Mariona Caldente. Little. Mead. Here's Fox. It's like they've got a very specific line of engagement, Corinthians. Until you're actually in their third, they're very much happy to let Arsenal have the ball. And as soon as someone gets in their third, it's aggressive pressing.
Yeah.
Make the angles narrow. Make the space small. Russo across the blocks. Cleared away well by Ferreira, and that will go for a corner.
Again, really well worked by Corinthians, forcing Arsenal to go wide. Don't mind this from Russo. Shifts it onto her left foot, gets herself a bit of space, cuts it towards goal. Really good piece of defending within her own 6-yard box there.
Tellez and Ferreira working well together. Corner now for Beth Mead. And they're going to put this one in the box. That's on top of the goalkeeper who punches it away without an issue. Zanotti will put pressure on Fox here as she picks up the ball. Out quickly is Alves. They're not going to give her an inch to work with out there, Corinthians. Smith. Back to Little. That's what I mean. They're happy for Arsenal to have the ball deep here. McCabe swings it in. And it bounces through this time.
Ooh.
Cleared away by Tellez. Alves. Almost picked off in there by Smith. A few players down at the moment. One for either team. Ball into the area. Header on target. And it's in. And that's a big goal from Lotte Wubben-Moy. Header at the back post. Kept alive after Corinthians had dealt with a set piece. Headed across goal. Letitia couldn't get there. And it's Arsenal 2. Corinthians 1. Lotte Wubben-Moy arrowing the header across goal, and the faces of the Corinthians players, they're distraught on that one. Aquino complains, VAR will check for any infractions. But Arsenal lead by 2-1.
Yeah, brilliant header from Wubben-Moy while players were kind of strewn all over the floor for both teams there. It's a lovely ball into the box, and it's a brilliant header. Brilliant header from Wubben-Moy. Does so well to get on the end of this, to get it into the far corner. Great ball in from Fox, and Wubben-Moy has to run back onto it. And I think Letitia would feel like she should have done better there, but she's had a brilliant game. Can't knock her for it. It's just a great header.
It's a floater, isn't it, from the ball into the area, but Erika couldn't compete in the air, and it just, again, it floats across goal. It's not a bullet header from Lotte Wubben-Moy, but it's so accurate.
Yeah.
And Letitia scampers across her goal line, but she can't keep it out. Alves giving the ball away like that on the edge, and Corinthians were down a player as they had someone on the deck. It just left them short, and Tellez was caught there by Catley. Alves caught a Smith as she lost the ball as well, and the goal will stand. Corinthians now with work to do, and Lotte Wubben-Moy stepping up in a big moment.
Yeah, massive moment for Arsenal. Half an hour to go in this final, and they lead. Smith as well looks okay to continue, which is important.
Yeah, they'll hope so, Arsenal. This has been a really impressive performance from Olivia Smith. Corinthians get us back underway in this game. Half an hour to go. We saw, after conceding in the first half, the reaction was quick. It was instantaneous. And the reaction needs to be similar here. Aquino winning the throw. Tamires wanted to take it quickly. Option not quite becoming available. Tamires does now take it down the line. Zanotti can't hold on to it though. That's out for an Arsenal throw. So Fox with the throw in on this near side.
Arsenal done well though. They kept the pressure on Corinthians and just had to wait and wait to find the opening for them to crack. And eventually they got it. And now it's just about seeing this through now. Get the job done. Get this final over the line.
Boycom asks, isn't that a foul before the goal? Not in my opinion.
No.
I think there's not enough of a push there. I don't think it's only one hand from Catley, and it's more of a nudge. And it comes after the ball is played. So it's dubious. It's definitely dubious, but I don't think it's enough to disallow a goal, especially after it was given on field. If that foul was called in the moment, obviously the goal wouldn't have happened, but I think we'd have also... I don't think VAR would overturn that decision. Caldente, Smith, Little. Now McCabe. Probing here. Arsenal looking to kill this game off. The response after going ahead in the first half wasn't good enough.
Mm.
The response in this second half is one knowing that they've still got work to do to win this game. And Arsenal almost 4 times as many passes completed as Corinthians in this game. Absolutely absurd, but it speaks to the different systems these two sides are using. And Arsenal there, sloppy in possession, throwing on this near side. Emirates will come and take. And Arsenal looking at a double change here, and it's Caitlin Ford and Smila Holmberg. Well, they give you very different things from what you've got.
Yeah.
Holmberg a little bit more aggressive, I'd say, than Fox, a better carrier than Fox, so potentially gives them something that will really hurt Tamires. And Caitlin Ford, which, very different to Smith. Smith's very direct, dangerous. Ford isn't. But, a player who can contribute, just hasn't had a season where she's been able to offer as much as Arsenal would have liked. Victoria here, I think, has just landed horribly after having to evade a late challenge from Smith. And she's already signalled that she thinks that's the end of her game.
Yeah.
Not a great tackle, that, from Olivia Smith. Victoria jumped out the way of it. If not, that could have, probably should have been a yellow card.
Yeah.
And Arsenal will use this opportunity to make their double substitution. And so, firstly, it's number 2, Emily Fox, departing for number 31, Smila Holmberg.
Makes sense. It's really nice to see Arsenal have an option now to rotate Fox. She doesn't have to play 9 minutes every week, and they've got some massive games coming up.
And on the other side is Olivia Smith, number 15, making way for number 19, Caitlin Ford. It's what they'd like to have on the left side, I think, but it's quite interchangeable between McCabe and Hines, but neither of them are really what they want from that left-back position. Links, though, with Ona Battier in recent days. English media saying they're the favourites. Spanish media suggesting that all of Chelsea, London City and Arsenal are interested.
Ona Battier playing for a side that win games 2-1 when he one shot on target feels ludicrous.
How many brilliant footballers do London City have to sign before they start playing good football?
Yeah.
That's what we'll wait and see. I thought they were better against City, but they were really poor today. Change coming for Corinthians as well, and this will be Johnson. So much like what happened in the Gotham game, they're making the same change. So Johnson will go on up front. That we'll see. And this is horrible for Anna Vittoria. Hopefully nothing too serious as she hobbles off with what looks like a knee injury. And that's always the fear with knee injuries in the women's game. That it's going to be something incredibly serious. Hopefully not for Vittoria. But Duda Sampaio will drop deeper. We'll then see Johnson lead the line. And Zanotti will play in that midfield role. It's the same substitution they made in Gotham when they wanted to be a little bit more aggressive. It worked for them then. Gotham were stretched by Johnson coming onto the field. Zanotti was in the right place to finish off that chance because she was playing in that 10 role. Can they use that to find a way back into this game? Tellez on the ball. Looking to target it in behind. Holmberg touches it down. It falls for Little. Aquino reacts quickest. Drops in midfield and Sampaio just misjudges the header. Now out to the right-hand side with Erica. Duda Sampaio back to Erica. Forced backwards now, and Letitia splitting the centre halves here far from her goal. Tellez lets that run. Now looking to play it forwards. Header on by Wuben Moy. It's Zanotti who reacts fastest and holds on to it under challenge from Marnham. Tidy footwork in there from Alves, who's brought down, but not a foul. Mead. Across now to Caldentea. Touches loose, and Jacqueline tries to win it back. Either way, forcing the mistake. And Erica, able to pick up on the ball. Here's Ford, flicking it forwards aimlessly. Ferreira wins. Tellez heads away. Brought down well by the chest of Zanotti. Out to the right-hand side. Sounds like some sort of exotic island, the chest of Zanotti. It's not. It's just an incredibly powerful chest of Corinthians attacking midfielder now. Letitia Into Duda Sampao, back towards Letitia, drawing the press of Kim Little. Creates space in midfield, but Moy steps into it well to win the long ball. Mead trying there to get away from Aquino, dancing away on the edge of the penalty area. Dresser Alves will claim her innocence. She's telling the referee that's a blatant dive, and she's telling her to watch it on the big screen on the replay. She's a character, Andressa Alves, I have to say. I don't know if there's loads in it. Mead knows what she's doing there.
Yeah, it's a foul. It is a foul. She swings her leg, and
It doesn't kick her, though.
No, it doesn't. But there's contact, and she swings her leg like that. You can't do that. She's had a funny game. She admitted to the first one. She then used that to get away with the second one.
Try and get away with the others, yeah.
And then that third one, sent the referee to rewatch it on the screen.
No, look up there. She dived.
T-Fair.
Brilliant.
Credit to the ref for that, because a lot of referees would booked her for that.
I like the idea. She did have a watch and go, oh, you know what? Turn it over.
Yeah.
Spot on, Andressa. Free kick now for Arsenal.
You feel Corinthians just got to hang on in there. 23 minutes. Just keep the scoreline at 2-1. Keep themselves in the game. And just...
No goal for now for Arsenal kills the tie.
Yeah.
Can Arsenal kill this game off and win the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup? Mead takes aim, strikes the wall. Nowhere near enough height on that one. Floated forwards, and Caitlin Ford tries to deal with the ball with some unorthodox positioning. Unable, though, to actually make any firm contact with the ball.
Yeah, bit of wasted free kicks. The cycle ball from Holberg's not bad.
Unexplained what Caitlin Ford has tried to do with it.
Yeah, probably could have just knocked it, hit it normal.
If she just waited for it to bounce and then hit it as it come back up, she could have clipped it back across goal. So she jumped very unorthodoxly.
Try to get it before it bounced or ride the bounce.
Marnham. Duda Sampao stands her up. Now they'll engage, and Marnham forced backwards here. Aquino chasing her down. Little with a deft flick round the corner. The pass, though, from Mead, giving possession back to Corinthians. Sampao carrying it forwards. Still going, Duda Sampao. Looks to play in behind, and Johnson's in here. What a ball! Johnson's in! And what a save from Borba! Wooburn Moy caught out completely. Johnson bearing in on goal. And Annika Borba with a huge save.
Really good stop from Borba. Made a mistake for the first one, but that is huge to keep Arsenal ahead. Brilliant run from Johnson. Times it perfectly.
Ridiculous ball from Duda Sampao.
Yeah.
How on earth does she pick out Johnson like that? Outrageously good pass, and Corinthians unlucky there not to be rewarded. But Arsenal caught out. It's Beth Mead's poor pass that gave away possession. Sampao drove it forwards, picked out Johnson wonderfully. Annika Borba with a big save there.
Yeah, warning sign that from Corinthians to say to Arsenal, we're still in this game, we're still here and battling.
Here's Beth Mead coming inside, takes aim, blocked by Tejes, and Aquino can attack the space again. Do you just feel that Holmberg coming on has upset the balance a little?
Bit too aggressive. It's just you just feel there's a lot of space now on. Mead's actually the one who's dropped in for the moment. Mead is a lot deeper than Holmberg is. But yeah, just seems too keen to get forwards and getting caught out a little bit.
But also doesn't have potentially not just the pace of Fox, but the reading and awareness of Fox to make those recovery runs and get back and read how where the game is going and where it's going to go. Like here, you can see she's jogging back. And that ball in behind, Ruben Moyes caught out. Johnson here should score. It's unlucky. It's a bit of a tight angle. Annika Borba does really well.
I have to say, the nudge there from Ruben Moy is probably enough to put her off. And that's a really good piece of defending from Ruben Moy because she gets caught out, but there's just a slight nudge there. Not enough to push her over for a penalty. Not enough to do anything silly. Just a slight nick Just a slight little nudge, and it's just enough to put her off.
But the change is having the same impact they had in the game against Gotham. This verticality is just stretching Arsenal now.
Yeah.
And Johnson is giving them an option in behind, but that option behind is just going to drop the Arsenal line deeper.
Yeah.
And they've got a free kick now as well. They've managed to just keep getting that ball a little bit further forwards, and they've got a free kick in a good area. It's going to be Andressa Alves to deliver this into the box. Corinthians have threatened from these set pieces before. They're preparing changes as well. Those subs won't happen before this set piece, though. Alves plays it short to Sampao, who's going to hit it more directly out wide. Headed away by Mead. And it did take a touch there.
I'm not sure about that.
Of Tejes.
Not the throw. It's definitely an Arsenal throw. I think that free kick's got to go in the box. I'm not sure about that going short. Yeah. 18 minutes to go in a final.
It's one of those, if it comes off, we sit here and we talk about what a brilliant routine it was. But when it doesn't, you think it's wasted.
It's true. I think that's got to be put in the middle. We're seeing how they've been better in the air than Arsenal have.
Double change here, and Gabby Zanotti departs, as does Aquino. This is a big roll of the dice then. It's Ivana Fuso, formerly, I believe, of Manchester City in the WSL and Albuquerque. So changes in attacking areas. And Aquino and Zanotti are the two that didn't depart, I don't believe. Oh, no, Aquino did in the end. But Zanotti obviously stayed on to get that winning goal. Interesting to see they've subbed her off, but to be fair, the 40-year-old probably does need a rest after playing a full 90 minutes on Wednesday and 72 minutes in this game. Caitlin Ford cuts inside. Shot is blocked. Tamirez heads away. And now out towards the right-hand side. McCabe heads it down, though, stopping Fuso. Now into Ford. Marnham. Little. Beth Mead holds it up well. Flicked on. I'm not coming to anything there. Russo and Marnham trying to combine. Here's Albuquerque. Looking to find Johnson. And it'll bounce through, but it's not quite come off there for Corinthians. Out towards the left-hand side now for Arsenal. Ruben Moy. Trying to carry it forwards. Will be forced back now into Annika Borba. And Ruben Moy. Sending it forwards. Great hold up from Alessia Russo. A pass across, though, is misplaced. And here come Corinthians. Not able to make anything happen. There is Jacqueline. Catley. Wide to Ford. Pass through the lines now into McCabe. Back into Caitlin Ford. Can they combine to make something happen here? Ford shimmies inside. Little makes the run to the half space. Cuts it back for Mead. And that's blocked well by Tejes. Ford now with the rebound. Takes aim. Blocked onto the post. Russo's header wide. And Arsenal threatened but unable there to find the back of the net.
Really should be 3-1 to the Gunners, and they should be home and dry in this final. Lovely play down the left-hand side from Ford. Little cuts it back. Mead here drills it. Big block. And then well recycled. And another huge intervention from a Corinthians defender to flick Ford's effort onto the crossbar. But really should have been 3-1 Arsenal. Some huge pieces of defending.
From Tejes. Ford's effort. Again a block from Tejes. Throwing herself in front of everything. Erica, sorry, that one. And Arsenal with the change now. Chloe Kelly on for Beth Mead. That should have killed the game. Can Corinthians take belief from those squandered opportunities for the Gunners? Here is Lotte Wubenmoy. Carries it forwards. Holmberg. Poked out of play well by Fuso. She wanted a throw in there, but it will go the way of Arsenal. Holmberg, that's headed away by Tamirez. Ferreira gets it clear. Aldente wins the header. And Tamirez smashing it forwards. Brought down by Catley. Now McCabe. Johnson keeps the pressure on. And now into Marnham. Caldente. Picked off in there well by Albuquerque. Unable to keep hold of the ball. And Little with a strong challenge from the referee. It took her a moment, but does make the right decision and awards the free kick.
Yeah, I think Little was just a little bit late there. I'd like to see it back.
It's Andressa Alves again.
Yeah, Little
makes
not
the referee's decision for her there with the screaming, I think. But
I think Little's unlucky.
I think she gets the ball there.
Yeah, I can understand the complaints. As you say, I think the reaction there from Alves is one of that free kick. And potentially the fact that she's been in the referee's ear all game.
Yeah. That'll just keep her quiet now. You book some credit back with her. And Gianni Infantino in attendance, hopefully somewhat. If anyone's at the Emirates, please tell him he's corrupt. Boo him or something. Cleared away by McCabe. And tell him we don't want to go to Qatar in 2028 whenever we're playing the Club World Cup. Marnham. Wide now to Kelly. To carry the ball forwards. It's blocked away. Little. Caldente. Marnham now trying to force the move. Tamirez wins it back. And they'll look to spring forwards quickly. Corinthians. Johnson spins Woobenmoy. Who will win the foot race? It's going to be Johnson. Slegers getting up the touchline here to commando players backwards. Duda Sampao trying to lift it in behind. Catley heads it down to Johnson, who will take aim and, well, going for glory. But that shot leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, wrong decision there. And rightfully so. The Corinthians manager is telling his players to calm.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was just rushed.
Didn't need to hit that.
Not at all. Still 12 minutes, long way to go in this game. They will get more chances, and that's a wasted one.
Indeed. Here's Borba. Arsenal building out from the back. Johnson pressing Little into Woobenmoy. Sampao across quickly. Woobenmoy sends it forwards. Russo chests down. And Kelly, an aimless pass in midfield, is picked off. Lovely turn from Alves. Tamirez feeds it now into Albuquerque. And that, a very strong tackle from Frida Marnham. Giving Alves a bit of a taste of her own medicine, I think.
Yeah, had to release it sooner there, allowed Marnham to get back in. And yeah, it's a huge tackle from the Arsenal midfielder.
Indeed. 10 to play. Arsenal vying for victory. Corinthians need a goal. Borba. And if Corinthians can find a goal, reminder that it will be 30 minutes of extra time, followed by a penalty shootout to determine the winner of this final. As it stands, though, Arsenal will be crowned the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup winners. It's a bit of a mouthful to get into a chant, but if any team can do it, it will be Arsenal. Hopefully to the tune of "Good Luck, Babe." Here is Catley. You feel Arsenal are tiring as well in this game. Not only has the tempo gone down, but it's become a little bit sloppy. Holmberg. Carrying it down the right-hand side. Ball in towards the area. Headed away. Now forward. Caldente. Lays it off to Little, who will look right as well. Now comes inside. Sells the dummy. Nice drive. Marnham. Manages to shift it into forward. Now Caldente. McCabe. Marnham takes aim. Great start from Letitia.
Big save. Once again, Letitia keeping her side in this game. Yes, it's a really weird kind of scenario where both sides want to slow it down when they're defending, but want to move it quickly when they're going forwards.
Yeah.
And again, it's a really difficult one to balance for both teams here.
Indeed. So, Time ebbing away. Here's Tamires, holds on to it well. Plays it inside to Johnson, who holds it up. Pokes on to Albuquerque, who rushes it back to Johnson, who keeps the pressure on here, and Holmberg playing it out for a corner there for Corinthians. Has it gone? No, it hasn't. Johnson's got the ball. She needs support here. They're confused to how that's not a corner. It looked like it had gone. And Johnson furious there.
That's a corner. Absolutely, I can see clear as day from here that's gone out. Linesmen on the far side clearly weren't in position.
Indeed. Arsenal get away with one there. That was messy from Holmberg. And a corner at this stage could have changed the game. Corinthians just couldn't react then to actually having possession. Catley back to Borva. Let us know in the live chat. Will Arsenal see this out, or will Corinthians find an equaliser? The poll in chat has slowly swung in Corinthians' favour throughout this game. 21% of the 2,100 votes in the live chat. Got to be the most votes we've ever had in a poll in chat. So thank you all so much for your support. 21% Corinthians, 79% Arsenal. Keep those votes coming in and get involved in the live chat as this game draws to an end. Big challenge from Tejes. One back though by Chloe Kelly. Here's Russo. Back to Kelly. Has Holmberg up in support. Direct run from Kelly. Unable to find a teammate though with a pass. And commits the foul afterwards. But play on is the call from the referee. Johnson tries to break away. Ruben Moy knocks it up the line. Ball played in behind, but fairly aimlessly there from Corinthians.
Yeah, again, Corinthians got to find that balance between wanting to move it quickly, wanting to get the ball up the pitch and cause Arsenal problems, but can't afford to rush it. When you start rushing things, passes become aimless, and the ball ends up either off the pitch or in Arsenal's possession.
Holmberg now drives inside. Back to Kelly. Cardente. Now Kelly. Kim Little knocks it back to Steph Catley. There's Katie McCabe. Knocks it wide. Here's Ford. McCabe. Now Little lets it run through. Intelligent stuff. And Caldente pass into Marlam's just overhit. And brilliant defending there from Ferreira. Just sees it out of play. Marlam thinks she's knocked it into Ferreira.
I think
have to see the replay. I think Marlam might have.
Yeah, I think Marlam's got a point here.
Ferreira tries to see it out. I don't know. I mean, they cut it just before the important part there.
Brilliant, isn't it?
So we can see the substitution. It's another change in attacking areas. Jacqueline making way.
Nothing to lose now, Corinthians. Got to go for it.
Absolutely. And that is Robledo coming on. So all change in the front line for Corinthians. Is it too much change? No, Aquino and Zanotti were so important for them. And while Johnson has come on and changed this game, they have someone that's composed in the final third to find the winner. Here's Tamires. Exchange as well with Fuso, and they've lost the ball. Russo drives towards the opposing goal. Fantastic work from Duda Sampao, who can carry this ball forwards now for Corinthians. Little commits the foul. Johnson picks up possession. Wide now to Robledo. Up against Holmberg. What can she make happen? Takes aim, and that's not the right decision at this point in the game.
No. Never going to beat Borba from that kind of range. Easy claim for the Arsenal goalkeeper. And again,
Also looked for a moment like she had the beating of Holmberg.
Yeah.
But wasted it.
Definitely.
Catley. Now Ruben Moy, 5 to play.
You feel there's going to be one chance. There's going to be one more chance for Corinthians. It's just whether they can take it or not.
Caldente. Now Kelly. Headed away. Now McCabe. Plays it inside. Marnham feeds it through the lines. Cleared away well. Ford now latches on it. Can she make something happen? Force back wide. McCabe. Catley. Into Kim Little. Moving right. Caldente. Holmberg now. Picked off by Tamires. And here come Corinthians. Ball into Johnson between the two centre halves. Important intervention from Little. And they're just losing the energy there. You can see Alves could have chased that down, but just doesn't have the legs. And Corinthians have given it their all here. They've given Arsenal one hell of a game. It just doesn't feel like that winner's cup, that leveler's coming. They had opportunities, but they're definitely tired now, Corinthians. Little. Caldente drills in behind. Tamires makes the mistake. Kelly will get there. Brilliant from Tamires. Gets back in. Makes the challenge.
Yeah, really good work. Not only to get back in, to keep the challenge clean and only concede a corner. Well, I think it might have actually been given as a goal kick.
Yeah, more confusing officiating decisions. Not sure which way the ref has given this. It is offside.
Yes.
And that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Ball forwards from Letitia. Licked on well in there, but it's going to run through to McCabe. Now Little. Ball in behind. Russo's going to get there. Takes aim. Straight at Letitia, who spills it. And then Ferreira clears it into Ford, who runs it out of play. Bloody hell. Letitia has been so good this game. That just spilling from her grasp. Ferreira got there just to hook it out of play, and Ford actually blocks it. Out for a goal kick. Ball long. Looked like a foul. Corinthians free kick.
This has got to go in the box. This has to be just punted towards the penalty area.
It's quite deep.
It is.
I wonder if they might use it to try and just get possession in the Arsenal half here.
They have been so ambitious with trying to take these free kicks higher up the pitch. Brilliant.
That was on the halfway line. We ended up on the edge of the box almost.
It was a deep free kick.
Yeah. Now a shot.
Yeah, right thing here. It's got to go long.
God forbid they get a free kick on the edge. They'll be taking a penalty.
Yeah.
Do the Sambao. Great delivery. Bounces down. Chance now for Fuso. Tries to swing at it. Shot now again.
Brilliant.
Tamires just can't quite turn it home, and Caldente comes away with the ball. McCabe now. There's so many chances in there.
Brilliant from Ruben Moy. 3 incredible blocks to keep Arsenal ahead. And maybe that was the moment you feel for Corinthians. The ball just fell really nicely.
And Fuso just couldn't quite fire it home. Here's Ruben Moy.
Brilliant game from Ruben Moy.
Kelly, nowhere to go. And that has left the field of play. This was that chance then. Struck by Albuquerque it was. Tried to keep it alive. Managed just to squeeze it back to her teammate. But nothing giving. 4 minutes of additional time. Not the 12 that we've been accustomed to seeing today. Albuquerque. Out to the right-hand side. Ball in from Alves. Headed up from Ruben Moy. Kept alive now, and that's blocked away. Albuquerque. Just trying to get past McCabe. Was that a foul? There was some amateur theatrics in the box, and Catley and McCabe don't approve of it.
I think she's made a meal of that.
Well, have a look at the replay. I don't think she has. I think that the first bit's fine.
Ooh.
I don't think she gets enough of the ball there, McCabe. VAR's got to have a look at that. McCabe kicking through the Corinthians attacker. And surely it's being checked. I think the check may have been... Well, the player's still down.
different 'cause she gets the ball, but has she just? I don't think there's enough.
She gets so much of the player though. Robledo.
Oh yeah,
It's a solid kick in the back of the leg. She just kicks through the player.
that's a difficult one. That's such a difficult one.
There's an attempt for the ball, but she just kicks through her. I don't think it's going to be given here. Either that or the VAR is still checking. Robledo's still down. And the referee, I think, indicating that to Corinthians players that they are still having a conversation about this upstairs.
Yeah, they're going
to have a look.
Look at this.
I think this is a penalty.
Oh, wow.
And Katie McCabe, and this is where we speak about that temperament being a problem. There is no need in that position. McCabe has done really well initially.
Yeah.
No need to kick through Robledo like that.
Oh, this is huge.
It's aggressive, it's unnecessary, and she deserves to finally be punished for one of these actions. Robledo is in front of it, and McCabe just kicks through her.
It's the back angle. She just comes through her. She gets the ball, but she doesn't get the ball without getting the player. Yeah, it's this angle here. It's the back angle. She comes from behind. She just...
Yeah.
I don't know. She doesn't get... To be fair,
I don't think she gets
the
the ball,
ball.
does she? That's what they're checking as well. It's whether it's just her kicking the leg. She's looking... The referee wants to see if she's getting any of the ball. I'm not sure she is. There's no need for this penalty.
No.
That is what is silly about it. If Robledo had turned it and she just pulled her or something like that, it's understandable. She just kicks through her.
But this is... Here we go. We're going to get a decision.
Now, a decision from the referee. Comes back onto the field, and the VAR decision is... We can't hear what she's saying, unfortunately, on our coverage. And it is a penalty for Corinthians. Wow. That is such a silly decision from McCabe to go through the player like that.
Massive moment.
And this is a huge chance for Corinthians. The black and white support cheer on once more, because this is foolish from McCabe, and it's a penalty for Corinthians. A chance to level the game with what will surely be the final kick.
Massive moments. Require players with nerves of steel.
Are trying here to put the taker off.
Wow. This is incredible. What a way to end this final.
And it is Victoria Albuquerque to keep this alive. Score and we go to extra time. If this is saved by Annika Borba, Arsenal are the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup winners. Albuquerque from 12 yards. Borba between the sticks. Corinthians with hearts in their mouths. And prayers from Robledo on the edge of the box. Will faith prevail? Albuquerque steadies herself. The referee moving the player praying. So she's not on the white line. Blows a whistle. Albuquerque settles. She's going to take her time before taking this. Shifts to the left. Steps up and scores, and Corinthians are level. Victoria Albuquerque converts from the spot. The mistake from McCabe goes punished. Arsenal 2, Corinthians 2, and we are surely going beyond the 90 here. What a moment, what a fight from Corinthians. Victoria Albuquerque with the goal. Arsenal 2, Corinthians 2. McCabe's face a look of sour disgust as the Corinthians players celebrate. And they're dancing here at the Emirates. Corinthians draw level to extra time. We surely go.
You'd think they'd won it the way they're celebrating, but what a moment. Just shows what it means to these Corinthian players. The penalty, talk about pressure. In that kind of environment, in a final with the trophy on the line, it's cool, it's calm, it's collected, straight down the middle. Borba goes to the left-hand side. It's a brilliant penalty under a lot of pressure there. Fair play to her, brilliant composure. And as you say, Arsenal couldn't kill the game off, and Corinthians have struck very, very late here.
And the limbs, not just from the Corinthian supporters, as the sea of black and white support started to bounce in that end, but the players, the substitutes, the dugout, running down the touchline at the Emirates to swamp the scorer.
They've got to get there. They've got to get to extra time now.
We're a few minutes away because there was a minute for the VAR check. Arsenal will have a minute to try and find a goal in normal time. Ruben Moy across the left-hand side. How long? What liberty will the referee give Arsenal in this game? McCabe back now to Catley. Arsenal have got to move it quicker if they want to find a breakthrough. It seems that the pace and lack of urgency, they're happy to take this to beyond the night.
Yeah.
Borba.
Wind's been knocked out of their sails, and Corinthians are running on pure adrenaline right now. The celebration showed that.
They're knocking it round the back, Arsenal.
They've been stunned. And
yeah. Little drives through the heart of the team, out to the left-hand side. McCabe in behind, knocked out of play well. They've been so disciplined, Corinthians. They've worked so hard in both the games in this competition. The five-time Libertadores champions, five-time consecutive Libertadores champions, in a position now competing with the UEFA Women's Champions League winners. Holberg, Kelly.
Brilliant.
And the intensity from Robledo to knock that out of play. We're into the 8th minute of the 4 allotted for additional time. Got to be seconds left at best here. Kelly back inside. Little now probing our Arsenal. Holmberg into the final third. Cut out by Tejes. Strike from Ariona Caldente is blocked. And it's hooked clear. And that must be that in this game. Referee happy to continue. Catley now. We approach the 9th minute of the additional period. Out to the left-hand side. Ford dancing away past Erica. Cuts inside now. Ford. Marnham gears up for the shot through bodies. And that's smothered brilliantly by Letitia. And there can't be long to go now. Letitia holds it. Drops the ball. Sends it long. Header won by Arsenal. Kelly nods down to Marnham. Mariona Caldente. Marnham again. Cuts out by Duda Sampao. And Corinthians now the side. Coming forwards. Ball lumped forwards. I mean, we've definitely played more than 2 minutes now.
You can't tell me the VAR check.
And that is the full-time whistle in this game. We're going beyond the 90. Arsenal 2, Corinthians 2. What a battle the Brazilian champions have given them here. Arsenal opened the scoring through Olivia Smith. It was Anotti who pegged them back immediately. Ruben Moy thought she'd found the winner on 58 minutes. But a clumsy foul from Katie McCabe gives Corinthians a lifeline at the death in this match. 96th minute, Victoria Albuquerque scores the penalty. And we're going into extra time.
Wow, this is what these kind of top competitions are made of. Brilliant drama. Arsenal punished, didn't kill the game off. And as you say, Corinthians taking full advantage of McKay's mistake. And now a big half an hour coming your way between these two sides. 2 brilliant semi-finals, 2 brilliant finalists. It's been a brilliant game. And to be honest, I think it deserves to go all the way. An incredible fight from both teams. Just want to see it continue.
And this is why we can't have VAR in the WSL. Because McCabe wouldn't last a 90 minutes. This is there's zero reason to do that. in this moment in the game, why would you kick through the opposition player like that? And Albuquerque, ice in the veins, slots it down the middle. In a 50-50, the goalkeeper goes left or right. You play it down the middle.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's exactly what you need to do.
Penalty.
I like the fact she stuck to her guns, just backed herself, didn't try and blast it, didn't try and go for power, just got the job done. Not much Borba could have done, but half an hour to go. Corinthians were struggling. They were tiring, but can they fly on pure faith and adrenaline and get through the penalties or even find a winner themselves? Arsenal will look to come out fast in extra time and look to kill this game off, but they're going to have to work for this trophy if they want it, the Gunners. Really strong stuff from Corinthians. They are not going down without a fight.
This is brilliant.
Yeah, this is what we want to see from this competition. We wanted action, we wanted drama. And
Corinthians provided it.
Yeah.
The Arsenal Asphalt game, it was simple for Arsenal. But Corinthians, they knocked out Gotham in a hard-fought 90 minutes. And now they've found 2 goals against Arsenal. They've kept this tie alive as we go to 120.
Yeah, they didn't knock out Gotham just to turn up and be passengers in this game.
Absolutely.
They turned up in this final to compete, and it's exactly what they've done. Arsenal, they've played well, well taken goals, but they didn't kill it off. How many times have we seen this from Arsenal this season? They didn't kill the game off. The scoreline was still 2-1, and it just allowed that chance for Corinthians to get right back into it, concede the penalty, and Arsenal, they can only blame themselves. Didn't get the job done. They could have been 3-4-1 up in this game. Didn't take advantage of when they were on top, and then were caught up by it with the last kick of the game.
And before we get into the additional periods, extra time looming, I'd like to say thank you very much for 7.6k, 100 subscribers gained today.
Wow.
Incredible support. Thank you all so much. If you are watching along and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet and you're enjoying the show, make sure to do so. We are live constantly covering women's football as we move into the back half of this 2026 season, 25-26 season. And for Brazilian fans, we are only 18 months away from the World Cup in Brazil. I can't wait. I'm sure you guys can't wait either. What a tournament that will be. Make sure to subscribe because we'll be covering every match of that tournament next summer. Arsenal in a huddle. They need to regroup because Corinthians took momentum right at the end of that match. Can they take that into extra time? This is a weird period now. Yeah. Nobody really knows how to deal with extra time. Which side has the minerals, has the understanding just to get into this extra time period and settle quickly? Yeah,
exactly. It's a very, very difficult period to get right. The amount of times we see the side that equalise, to send it to extra time, they go on to win purely because in these kind of periods, quality goes out the window, tactics goes out the window, and it is all down to pure adrenaline, fatigue, and composure. And whichever one of these two sides can deliver will go on to win this final.
How Andressa Alves is still on her feet, I'm not sure. She has not stopped running for 90 minutes in this game. Has she got another half an hour in the tank? I'm absolutely sure she does. Corinthians to get us back underway. Johnson from the middle knocks it back. 30 minutes of extra time here in the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup final. Arsenal 2, Corinthians 2. Ball punted to the corner. Arsenal have substitutes out ready to get the ball back in play quickly. Ruben Moy knocking it down the line. And that's out of play. And that will be a Corinthians throw, which they're in no urgency to give back to them.
I mean, this is the way to go about it for Corinthians. I don't mind this at all. Usually we see the underdog get to extra time and just try and hold on for 30 minutes. But maybe score early and then try and hold.
Tamires. They're not here to play timidly.
No.
Absolutely not. Albuquerque touched it down to Fuso. Sampao now out towards the right-hand side. That one, a slightly misplaced one from Erica towards Erica. Ball forwards. Held on too well. Ferreira. Looking down the line. That takes a nick off forward and that will be a Corinthians throw. Was it too many changes from Renee Slegers? They went a bit more aggressive with Holmberg coming on. They brought Ford on for Olivia Smith. And Fox and Smith are probably their best 2 players in the first half. Johnson tried to flick it on there. McCabe hooking it out. They wish they'd gone Hines instead of Holmberg.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got comfortable.
Johnson wins back possession high at the pitch. Ball into the area. Albuquerque heads on target. What a save. Annika Borba denies Victoria Albuquerque for finding her second of the game. But Arsenal have got to switch on. Weak from McCabe. Wubbomoy gets out jumped and Borba's clinging to the post there. As she has to tip that one over the bar brilliantly.
What a save. What a save from Borba once again in this game. But to do it in extra time.
And a change now coming. Which team is it for? It's for Arsenal and it's Cadena for Little. Arsenal in extra time are bringing off their central midfielder for a centre-back. Is this a plan at the end of the game that they've continued?
No, I don't think it is. Because if not, you do that in the stoppage. So they've seen this 2 minutes, Arsenal, and they've decided to make... They're trying to bring on Cadena.
The only argument I can see is that Little is struggling, but Palova sat on the bench and Cooney Cross is sat on the bench.
That's a weird one.
That's a bizarre change. Ball into the area, headed away. It's going to drop in there and it's punted over.
Has to do better. Has to do better with that one.
Ivana Fuso striking that one with venom, but not with accuracy.
It's fallen to her nicely. She's trying to lift it over the onrushing Wubbomoy, but I think she's just got to drill that. Got to keep it down, try and hit the target. If it gets blocked, it gets blocked.
Yeah, he scoops it around Wubbomoy. Ball picked off again. Arsenal are at 6s and 7s here. The high press from Corinthians. Albuquerque's flick through. Denied. Marnham now trying to carry it forwards. And it's picked off high again. Johnson loses out. It's messy. Both sides are heavily fatigued. But Arsenal, have we ever seen them use a 5-back?
It's a really weird call.
It's a strange time to trial it.
Again, it will bring up the conversation about mid-season versus pre-season / post-season. Are Arsenal feeling it now? They're in the mid-season. Is that change prioritising Little for the rest of the campaign, despite the fact we're in a final?
Yeah, it seems that way. But why would you go Cadena in that moment, not Palova? Why would you... I mean, Cadena's now playing with midfield.
So it is...
And they're really struggling to progress the ball at the moment.
So they've gone more defensive.
They've got to start hitting the width. Because they're not getting the ball in central areas. Here is Cadena carrying it forwards.
Here we go.
Caldente. Back to McCabe.
Well, they want a more defensive midfielder, but they don't trust Palova or Cooney Cross to do that role. So they've gone the next best thing as a centre half.
Cadena, and that's dispossessed, and they can come forwards now. And that's a poor pass. Fuso trying to find Albuquerque, who's been such an important change.
Yeah.
Victoria Albuquerque. I wonder whether they had someone who could step up in the absence of Zanotti, in the absence of Aquino. Albuquerque's been that and more, and Fuso, the creator, in there as well. They've looked dangerous, Corinthians. The last change as well, Robledo, winning that penalty. They did step up. Marnham. Caldente from range, blocked well by Andressa Alves, cleared by Andressa Alves in the aftermath. Here is Ford now. Gets down the line, brilliant defending. No chance Ferreira's going to let her around her there, and she knocks it out of play.
Work rate will help Corinthians in the final third, but in their own third, they've got to be careful because Arsenal have got players that could just have a moment of magic.
But the problem is as well now for Arsenal, who creates the chances? Like, they've still got money on a Caldente on there, but they've taken off Smith for her directness. They've taken off Mead to create chances. They've taken off Little. They've taken off Fox.
Yeah.
That's your creative set. And Andressa Alves, even if she's coming off the field, gets a yellow card.
Finally been booked because she's just walking off the pitch. She might just get sent off though.
She is knackered.
Yeah, you can tell she's struggling.
But
yeah,
change in midfield, more energy. They're obviously a 6th sub allowed now in extra time. Andressa Alves making way. And that is Rodriguez in her place.
Yeah, I think the point Alves makes to the 4 officials there is I can't move any quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arsenal, yes, they're lacking creative, but someone like a Caldente, Chloe Kelly, she's clutch, as she says. Yeah, a Russo, they've got players who can deliver in the big moments.
Diana Rodriguez, defensive midfielder, on then for Alves. She's going to do that enforcer role that Alves has been doing. Ball in there, and it's a glancing header. Lotte Wubben-Moy. She converted one earlier in this game. Unable to find the target with that one, skewing it wide.
I tell you what, Letitia gets lucky because she was all at sea in that one. Came to get it, backed out of it. Wubben-Moy needs to do better. Unchallenged, rose highest, needed to get it on target.
Headed away. Ball clipped in behind, and Johnson will give chase. Wubben-Moy shielding it from her. Borber out to clear her lines. Rousseau deals with it well. Now out towards the far side. Rousseau does brilliantly to hold on to the ball. Now needs to find a teammate, and that is excellent from Fuso, and that should be a Corinthians throw, and it will be.
The other thing that makes this extra time period really interesting is usually you look at which players have got the freshest legs. But the most recent subs of both teams were defensive midfielders. They're not going to impact who's going to get the next goal. Of course, you've got the attacking subs that came...
I was going to say, Corinthians have already changed their entire front line. Arsenal had changed their wingers and their 10, to be fair, in the second half. But
I think usually next time you think, right, who's... Because that you get that sixth sub and you think that sixth sub is going to be pivotal to who wins this game. But when both sides bring on a defensive midfielder, you know... I think it'll be more defensive. I think both sides have played it very safe, which is understandable for Corinthians, but I'm a little bit surprised at Arsenal.
I'm very surprised for Arsenal because Cadina's not a defensive midfielder. Cadina's a centre-back. They're playing there. What I say for Corinthians is actually they had to take Alves off, and you need someone that does her role.
Yeah, true.
You can't just put an attacking midfielder in there because even if they get a goal, they still need someone that's going to be strong in there. And Alves has been phenomenal, and Diana should come in and do that same role. Was so important for them in their Copa Libertadores run, has only really been displaced because Ana Vitória signed for the team.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but Ana Vitória, so what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like, she's a fantastic
Respectfully, you're not going to start.
But she can still contribute. I mean, she's come on in a
in
the Champions Cup final. Caldente to McCabe. Wide now. Kelly puts the ball in towards the back post. Ford gets the header, heads it wide. The problem is now for Arsenal as well is you've got Kelly, who's just back from injury, Ford, who hasn't had a great season, Marne, who hasn't had a great season. They're players who on their day can step up, but they're players who haven't had a load of opportunities, haven't had a load of minutes so far this campaign.
Yeah. I think we've also hit that lull period that you get with extra time, where nothing really happens until you get into the second half of extra time. The first half is very cagey. Everyone tries to hold on. It's very rare that you get a goal in the first half of extra time. You either get it very late on in the second half, or both sides just see it through the penalties.
You're waiting for mistakes now as well.
Yeah.
And they tend to come in the second half because the fatigue sets in even more.
Yeah.
And that desperation comes because of the looming penalties. It'll be interesting to see whether either side wants to score. Like, is there either team here who doesn't back themselves on penalties, in which case need to push for the goal?
I mean, no offence, I wouldn't want to take a penalty against Letitia. No.
Also, if they pick that end, you're in trouble.
Yeah. You got that lot behind. You got the black and white wall that Corinthians have built behind Letitia's goal at the Emirates.
And this is the thing, a lot of people spoke before this tournament about how it's home advantage for Arsenal, but actually, Corinthians have made this their home.
Yeah.
You know, this is the Emirates Stadium. It should have been full of Arsenal fans, but Corinthians have brought a huge support, and they are much louder and much more vibrant than the Arsenal support. Ford, Holmberg. And that's cleared to the left-hand side and carrying it forwards now. Robledo dragged down by Holmberg. Free kick now. She pulls her head, or she holds her head then. Yeah,
I think she got caught. But Holmberg just kicked her in the head accidentally on the way through. Holmberg struggled since she's come on. Really struggled.
It's a tough environment to come into.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, was there a slight hair pull there?
No,
it's just the aftermath. That's absolutely fine.
There, knee comes down. It's accidental, but yeah, Holmberg just can't sort her feet out. But yeah, it's hot. I mean, it's also horrible because they're finally. It has not stopped raining at the Emirates.
Audrey says, don't want penalties. Dan says, no, we don't. So the Arsenal fans are confident.
I understand.
It's a real, it's absolutely, it's a real thing now that, though, I think you don't want to leave it up to that lottery.
No, of course you don't. Especially as the bigger side, who should have been, Pitt were predicting Arsenal to win this 3-4-5-0.
Just trying to work out if that's Alan Pardew or Arsene Wenger.
That is Arsene Wenger.
I mean, it'd be weird if it was Alan Pardew, I have to say.
It'd be brilliant if it was.
But Arsene watching on here, obviously involved now with FIFA and, of course, an Arsenal legend. Martinelli was in attendance as well.
I think he's gone home.
He came through, of course, at Corinthians. He's a Corinthians supporter. But his club, Arsenal's women's side, involved here. Robledo is back to her feet, just feeling that the aftermath of that tussle, and the Corinthians fans are bouncing from side to side.
Just incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Just give you that energy's got to give you an extra 10-20% in extra time.
I love the people that aren't Corinthian fans that clearly have just got in there. If you're a neutral, I'll just get involved.
I have a Newcastle shirt. Close enough. Or Juventus.
They won't care. It's black and white. But it's incredible, and this is what these kind of events are about.
Obviously, Juventus Douglas Costa shirt. They'll be buzzing.
Yeah.
Ball out to the left-hand side. Robledo now. Ball in. Flicked on in there, and it's headed away. It's alive by Albuquerque. Drops now for Duda Sampaio. Under pressure there from Russo. And Marnham nicks possession, and it's a 4-on-3. Sampaio was caught there, going the wrong way. Ford now, bearing in on goal, and Caitlin Ford finds the winner. A player who's so low on confidence, but Corinthians opened up, and Caitlin Ford converts. Sampaio caught in possession. And that heartbreak for Corinthians. Letitia caught at the near post. She's absolutely crestfallen. But Arsenal sting on the attack, on the counter, react to the mistake, and Caitlin Ford fires home at the near post.
The subs coming up huge for Arsenal in this final, 2 minutes away from the break in play. And Caitlin Ford, it wasn't a brilliant finish, but it was enough. Hit the target in these kind of moments, and you've got a good chance of finding the back of the net. Sampaio's been brilliant all game, but I'm not sure what she's tried to do.
Overplaying, she panics, she's surrounded with not many options. Just hook it over your head there. Delays and holds on to it far too long. Letitia is done at the near post. Got to do better, but she's tired at this stage and just can't extend that leg. And Ford fires home. It's one of those where it doesn't go in any other moment of the game.
Huge.
But she gets it on target. And Letitia can't keep it out.
Huge goal. Brilliant from Ford. I say she don't just hit the target. When you're a player out of form, extra time of a final, you've just got to hit the target. And that's what she's done. She's found the back of the net. And Corinthians, for the third time in this game, are going to be made to respond.
Mariona Caldente has been cautioned there. A free kick now for Corinthians. We're into the additional period. Letitia still fairly distraught. 2 minutes of additional time in this first half. Likely for the injured Robledo. Ball into the box. Headed up in the air. Headed back into the area. Ruben Moy clears. And McCabe makes sure of it. Throw in now, Corinthians. And Arsenal aren't happy about something there. Erica carries it forwards. Ferreira. And Ford just does enough there to stop her progressing and out of play for a throw.
Yeah, not quite sure what the Arsenal complaints were. They really weren't happy. It's nice of the Arsenal fans to clap McCabe as she goes over to get the ball. She's the reason they're in extra time. Arsenal got to get to the break and then just get the job done.
Carrying it forwards due to Sampaio. Cleared away by McCabe in there. Nice pivot. from Diana Rodriguez. Ball out towards the left-hand side, cleared away by Holmberg. And now a pass inside, and that's poor from Tamires. And you just feel fatigue is getting the better of Corinthians here. Marnham.
Mistakes are creeping in, and it's costing them. Already can see they cannot afford to concede again. Go behind by 2, and that'll be the game.
Great hold up from Rousseau. Back now to Cadena. What a game of football.
Yeah.
Regardless of the result, what an effort from Corinthians. And that is half time of this extra time period. 15 more minutes to play. Both sides will go and take a short break and prepare for another 15 minutes.
Yeah, Corinthians, wow. They've got to get the goal out of their head, and they've got to go again. 15 minutes is enough time to find an equaliser. Arsenal, though, will be very happy. Caitlin Ford taking the plaudits. They are 15 minutes away from taking the trophy, but they were seconds away from taking it before that penalty. So anything can happen in football. This final is far from over. Arsenal being pushed all the way, but they are hanging in there at the moment. They've had to work hard for this. This is not ideal at all. Of course, they walk away with a trophy. It'll all be worth it. But I'm sure if you told Renee Slegers that your side are gonna end up playing 2 lots of 90 minutes plus an extra time period in what's that, 210 minutes in the space of 4 days. A
squad that's already had quite a few injury issues as well. It's a lot. It's a lot for the players to take. But they didn't kill the game off. That's what's giving them this extra 30 minutes.
Yeah.
They got the goal now, though. Can they see it out?
Yeah. It's going to be tough. Again, I said it will be exactly what it was like in normal time. Corinthians will have a chance. You feel there will be one opportunity will fall to them. It might, whatever it is, they're going to have a chance. Arsenal have got to find a way to get this game over and done with. I'm really surprised that Corinthians are the ones to return to the pitch first here. And Arsenal are now going to make that 6th change. And that is Palova. Yeah.
Presumably the centre-back goes off then. But why now?
I think Karen Tay's one off.
Okay. Presumably they slot Cadena into the... I'm lost for what they're doing now. I think it's like for like, isn't it? You'd think they'd go for they'd do the 5 back now. Palova's not allowed to come on yet. They've got to wait. Or is she? Yeah, Karen Tay's had to go back onto the field.
To walk off. It's one of the worst rules they've made recently. It makes no sense.
Lovely little, there we go.
Yeah,
Karen Tay off, Palova on.
Again, I think that's prioritisation for the rest of the season. They trust that these, they don't need Karen Tay for the last 15 minutes. Of course, the Corinthians equalise now. That's going to be a very different opinion.
I was going to say they're taking off their +2 penalty takers, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal get us back underway in this last 15 minutes. They'll be hoping they don't need any penalties, though. Arsenal leading by 3 goals to 2. What a game we've had in our hands this evening.
Yeah, no matter who wins this final now, what a contest it has been. And Arsenal are looking to kill it off.
Russo skipped away from Tay as well. Good recovery there, though. Good hold up from Johnson up against Wubbenmoy. And Johnson Dean's committed the foul.
Not sure why Corinthian players are trying to slow the game down.
No, I'm not sure either.
Arsenal will take a free kick and 3 Corinthians players stood in front of it. Let them take it quickly. You want to get the ball moving.
I actually think they're going to get a load of additional time.
Maybe that's the plan. We're getting a penalty.
Stop Arsenal scoring again and they can break away. Kelly, ball in. Headed on by Cadena. Headed wide by Cadena.
Yeah, just glanced it. Again, didn't catch it properly. Couldn't get over the ball. And just glanced off her head and out for a goal kick. We nearly kept it alive, but couldn't quite get there.
Ball out to the wing. And Holmberg's been done, but she gets back in there up against Robledo. Good battle. And that's a throw-in up the pitch here for Arsenal. Holmberg has really struggled in this environment. It's so physical at this point of the game.
the physicality mixed with the conditions, mixed with the occasion. It's not a nice circumstance to come into as a young player.
Good hold up there. Now Robledo. Ball into the area, headed on, but headed away from goal. Ford under pressure. Seen wide here. Wants to go up the line and she runs it out of play.
Again, game manager's got to come in there. Just got to boot the ball into the opposing player. Trying to take her on down the line in your own third. Got to be better decision making in there from Arsenal.
Ball forwards, picked off though by Holmberg. Now Pullover. And that's cleared. And out for another throw. And Arsenal will try and slow this game down as much as possible. McCabe. Down the line. Headed on. Ford then brings it down. Pullover puts it up in the air. Rousseau unopposed, but the touch is poor. And Tejas will get there. Gives away possession to Kelly, though. Pullover now out towards the left-hand side is the option. Forced backwards to McCabe, though. Albuquerque keeps the pressure on at this late stage. Johnson chasing down the ball, but it's Ruben Moy. Plays it to Kelly. Bounce back to Cadena. And now Pullover. McCabe. Now to Freedom Arnhem. Skips past one. Loses out. Ferreira gets it out for an Arsenal throw. Deep in this Corinthians half. McCabe will take her sweet time. And I think the full official across to remind her to speed things up. McCabe throws down the line. And Ford is going to slow this down as much as possible now. Back to McCabe. Pullover. Can they kill this game? Arsenal won back by Diana Rodriguez. And it's sent forwards. Johnson will give chase here. Try and put pressure on Ruben Moy, who goes back to Borba. It's a little bit loose. But Borba's able to get that. Now Ruben Moy. Cadena. Back to Holmberg. Ruben Moy. Catley. And Arsenal just making this pitch wide. The wider they make it, the harder it is for Corinthians to chase them down.
Exactly that. You know, in these 11 minutes left of extra time, let the ball do the work. You don't want to be running around chasing up, you know, having to make the gaps work. Arsenal just got to let the ball do the work.
Ball forwards, touch backwards, but it doesn't quite come off. Arsenal out towards the left-hand side now. Katie McCabe. Pullover. Now Catley. Cadena. Catley. Cadena again. And that's a mess from Freedom Arnhem, but Pullover will bring it down. And that's poor. And a chance. Fuso inside to Albuquerque. Takes the aim. The effort's not good enough. And Corinthians latched on the Arsenal mistake. But they just didn't have the energy in the final third to capitalise fully. Pullover, that's really poor. The newest substitute in this match. It's hard to adjust, but you should be the sharpest, should be the freshest.
Yeah. Gets away with one there massively. Pullover. Big error. Corinthians can't punish. Maybe that's a good opportunity. I don't mind taking the shot on. Should not be able to, you know, had 3 or 4 players running out, had lack of support, wasn't going to be able to take them all on. Don't mind just taking the shot.
Here's Marnham. Knocks it wide. Ford finds space. Can she get a shot away? Caitlin Ford. That's saved well by Letitia and cleared away well by Ferreira.
Again, Ford got what looks to be the winner. Could have killed the game off here for Arsenal. Does well. It's not a bad effort. Another good save from Letitia. He just looks to go across the goal there, Ford, but Letitia
really dealing with the front post there.
Yeah.
Oh, it almost went against her.
Mm.
The Ford fired a cross goal. with Moy. Pass inside to Palova. McCabe forward on the touchline. Knocks it down the line. Palova will work hard to keep this in touch. Cleared out for a corner now. Erica jumping in front of that. What can Arsenal make happen? I mean, surely this is played short. And they just take this to the corner now. Still 8 minutes to go. But as much as that 8 minutes they can kill off as possible will help them. Some sort of discussion here between Marnham and Ford about what they're going to do here. And it looks like Kelly might deliver this into the penalty area. Ball in from Kelly, headed away. Catley heads it back towards goal. And Marnham makes a bit of a mess of it and it's cleared away. And a bit of a mess. There's a foul there on the winger, Ribaldo.
Bit of afters there. Russo just trying to delay the free kick being taken.
I'm quite surprised that they put that into the box, given how poor they've been on deliveries and how good Corinthians have been at clearing it away. Tired legs just couldn't get that ball forwards.
Yeah.
But it is close. If Corinthians can just get one opportunity, they can turn this game around.
Yeah.
Again. But it's going to be getting into that opportunity now. Arsenal just killing this game off. Better game management, this. Holmberg up the line. Headed down by Cadena. Pass inside. And that's not what's needed in this stage of the game from Fuso. Here's Albuquerque. Into Ferreira. Not a bad ball in. Rubenmoy heads away. Rodriguez pounces. Marnham loses out. And there's an offside flag up anyway. So that will be an Arsenal free kick.
Running out of time, you feel.
Jerry says my nerves are shot. I think a lot of Arsenal fans are feeling it at this stage of the game.
You just never know what's going to happen in these extra time periods, and you can see Rubenmoy, Catley really starting to feel it now. I mean, Catley's played almost every minute for Arsenal this season, and is now feeling the effects of having to play 114 minutes here.
So, Borba with this free kick as we approach the 115th minute of football here at the Emirates Stadium. The pitch must have taken a battering today.
Yeah.
Gotham obviously beating Asphalt 4-0 in that third place playoff earlier today. Rousseau. Palova. To Ford, who muscles off Robledo. And a free kick given there against Rousseau by the fourth official. By the lino, sorry. Sorry, against Ford. And I don't think I've ever seen the lino and the winger have a disagreement over a foul like that.
He actually stepped on the pitch and was waving her flag around. And then, was happy to have an argument with
Pointed at the player who committed the foul and just said, we'll have this argument here and now, shall we? Fuso knocked over there. Ball forward from Arsenal. And turned over well. Rodriguez out to the left-hand side. Tamires. Steph says, fantastic ad for footy. Absolutely. This is what you want to see. We came into this new competition not knowing what to expect. Corinthians have been the surprise package. The vibrancy from the fans and their work rate on the field. They competed and beat Gotham. They've competed today with Arsenal. And they'll take them right to the death. And Albuquerque shoots from range. Wide though of the mark.
It's all they can manage, really. All they can manage at the moment. Corinthians are pot shots from range. And that one was a bit closer than the others have been. But again, not troubling ball, but in the Arsenal net, who has pulled off some fantastic saves today. Both goalkeepers have been brilliant. Of course, the first Corinthians goal, ball made a bit of a mess of, but apart from that, superb from both. Been a brilliant game all round.
Borba goes long, brought down well. Nice turn in there from Fosu. Fuso. One back by Russo. And that is lashed away. Not long left. 3 minutes now. You'd imagine there may be some additional time to this extra time, but there won't be loads. Ball forward. Johnson can't quite bring it down. Holmberg. Her clearance is erratic. Ford wins the header though. Russo dragged down, and that will be a foul. Rodriguez is annoyed because Russo, she doesn't need much encouragement there to hit the deck, but she does win the free kick.
She doesn't, but I think that was a bit of a silly foul to give away because Russo wasn't really going to go anywhere, and I thought she'd lose the ball. But that just gives Arsenal an opportunity to take time out of the game now. No rush here, and then they can just pelt it into the corner. This is probably a maximum of 3-4 minutes. They'll add on maximum 2. So we're looking at 3 or 4 minutes left.
Kelly now. Back to McCabe. Cadena. Moy sends it forward. Header one in there by Tamires. And a bit of a cluster of bodies there jumping on top of each other. Palova carries it forwards and she's dragged back there, and Robledo and Palova share a hug.
Yeah,
Robledo committing an obvious foul.
Robledo was annoyed that she didn't get her free kick, so she went out the other end and decided to have a pull Palova back. But again, Arsenal just could take the sting out of the game here. Just, no need, no rush whatsoever to take this set piece.
Time ticking away. That's Arsenal take the sting out of this one. Moy takes it short. Kelly losing the ball, but does win a throw. And as we approach that 120-minute mark, Arsenal just seeing this out. Robledo working hard, and that will be a throw-in now for Corinthians. Tamires wants to take it quickly. Goes down the line. Held up well by Johnson, who will keep battling away. Palova, though, recovers it. Free kick for Corinthians. Palova is taking this ball for a run. Nowhere near where the foul is, and boots it up in the air. And Arsenal will try their best here to stop the free kick being taken. Marnham stands in front of it. And Tejas pretends to kick it into her. But that kills another 30 seconds. Tejas launches forwards. Headed on. McCabe knocks it up the pitch. And Letitia off her line quickly. At 2 minutes of additional time, mirroring the first half of extra time. Tejas. Kelly commits the foul, but it finds its way to Tamires, who's unmarked because of that. Ball into the box. Johnson can't get there. Moy heads clear. Holmberg loses out to Robledo. Hips it in well, the winger. Back now to Tamires. Opens up space for the cross. It's not great, and Palova gets it clear. Brought down by Erica. Tejas sends it forwards. Nodded on. And it's going to be Ford that will take this in her stride now. Carrying to the left-hand side. Ball down the line. Cut out by Ferreira. Nodded on by Albuquerque. Cleared into no man's land in midfield. Kelly will get there and drills it out of play. 60 seconds to go.
Oh, surely Arsenal can sit over the line from it. It would be something late and great for Corinthians now. And you don't think it's going to happen.
Brought down by Ferreira. Nice exchange on the right-hand side. Ball in behind. Johnson gives chase. Borba out quickly. And Moy runs into her own goalkeeper there, and Borba hits the deck. And this has to be concerning as the two collide at speed. Borba down, holding her head. Catley checking both. And that will probably be that.
Yeah. Johnson tried everything to get there. Brave goalkeeping from Borba, brilliant defending from Woober Moy. And that should surely see Arsenal over the line. Surely. Ford's goal wasn't glamorous, but enough to find the back of the net. And it should see Arsenal across the line here.
Hopefully nothing serious for Annika Borba, who stepped up immensely in the last few months. Nothing she could have done about either the goals. Well, the first goal she should have done more, but nothing she could have done about the penalty. Borba still receiving treatment. Ford, I think, also seemingly receiving treatment here. Not well, just having a chat with the physio.
Yeah.
Borba's still down. And the stretcher is out here for Annika Borba. And this would be a huge concern, not just for this game, as Arsenal would have 60 seconds down a player and with an outfielder in goal, but for the rest of this season. Borba has stepped up immensely in the last few months. Van Domselaar not fully fit yet. But Van Domselaar is going to be allowed to come on. I'm guessing if it's a concussion sub, she'll be allowed to come on.
They definitely use 6?
They've used 6, yeah. Marnham, Holmberg, Ford, Kelly, Kadina and Palova. So this, I'm guessing, is ruled a concussion sub.
Must be.
For the head injury.
This is not a night. And as you say, how long are they going to compensate for this delay?
That'll be the big question. Daphne Van Domselaar preparing to come on in this all-important moment.
It's massive. What a horrible, horrible moment for a goalkeeper to come into. 124 minutes into a final.
And they had an injury right at the end of the game during the additional time period, and we saw the referee compensate heavily.
Yeah.
And Arsenal, what was about 2 minutes for the VAR check, turned into about 3 or maybe even 4 by the end. How long will Corinthians get? It's got to be at least a minute.
I think this is the point that the Corinthians manager's making. But this is where you hate to be in these kind of games. It's an unknown. Horrible for Borba. Yeah. And I hope she's right. Horrible for Van Domselaar to have to come into this situation. But for both these sides, how long is the referee going to allow? How long are we going to play on? We're into the dark, really.
So Van Domselaar just trying to warm up in this tough situation. Her gloves are soaking with water before she even enters the field of play. Obviously wasn't preparing for this kind of situation.
No.
Will squeeze as much water as you can get out of her gloves, but
yeah, this is a horrible situation.
It's going to do very little at this stage. She's just going to have to put them on and get out there.
Yeah.
As we tick on and on in this game. Van Domselaar entering the fray. Laura says, how long will they play for this stoppage? Probably 3. It should only be a minute. But we saw the referee took a fair bit of liberty with that earlier.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Because I think it won't be. They don't play through the whole stoppage. They'll play for what we had left, and we'd played 121 of the 122. So yeah, it should only be a minute. But yeah, it's at the referee's discretion now. Once we get back underway.
So I think Borba will be stretchered off now.
So yeah, we're now into 126. It's incredible. It's been an incredible final. This final has had absolutely everything.
Maureen says, lads, your time's not ticking again. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't go beyond 120. So as we tick over into 6 minutes, the 126th minute of the game. Well, even then, it's been a lot longer than that. We've had added time at every interval. And lengthy added time at every interval. So, I don't know if anyone's done the maths on it, but it's been a lot of minutes of football. Ryan says 169 minutes. Sounds about right.
Wow. And that's why this whole how the shift to added time makes a real difference with a lot more minutes being accounted for.
120 of normal time, another 6 here, 2 in the addition of the first half. We played into the 9th minute of additional time in normal time as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be around 140 minutes plus the additional time in the first half. So around 142, I think it was in the first half.
Yeah.
A hard fought 142 minutes of football, 143 now. We're going to have another minute at least in this game, and we're still dealing with a nasty injury to Annika Borba.
It's a final that deserves 2 winners. It really does. Nothing to split the two sides. I mean, of course, it's Caitlin Ford's goal, but yeah, both sides have been incredible and have played their part in what has been a phenomenal contest. But
and now they've got a ball out to knock around because this Borba injury is going to take a fair bit of time. Understandably, it looks like a fairly serious head injury. Well, we have this moment, though. I'd like to thank everyone for their support today. It's been ridiculous. 1,000 people watching live as we round out this inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup tournament. Our highest viewed stream ever. Thank you so much for your support. And we're still going here. Gretchen said, injury must be back. There's no replay shown on feed. Yeah, so it's brave goalkeeping from Borba. She comes out. She collides full pelt with what looks like Women Boy's knee. She hasn't moved much on the floor at all. And understandably, they will be very cautious to move her as it's a head injury. With head injuries and stuff like that, you've got the fear around the neck and the spine and stuff. Not that I'm an expert, but just saying they've got to be incredibly careful with this. And that's why they're taking their time to go through all the precautions and make sure she's okay. There's now FIFA staff helping as well, I believe, with the Arsenal medical staff in attendance here. And obviously, the stretcher is ready when they can move her. But this is already a lengthy period. But Van Domslaar's been warming up on the sidelines, but we're now approaching the 10th additional minute.
Yeah. It's been 8 minutes since she went down. She's not encouraging at all. But as you say, a lot of it will be precautionary, hopefully.
Sarah Waller asks, will you stay live for the trophy lifting? Absolutely. We will stay live beyond this. So if you can't watch the trophy lift, we'll tell you about the trophy lift. Rosa asks, tell us about the injury, guys. We know as much as most. It looks like a nasty head injury for Annika Borba. She collided with Wuben Moy. It was a ball played in behind. She collided full pelt with Lotte Wuben Moy. She went low to claim the ball. And she hasn't moved much on the floor. There was a little bit of movement, so I don't think she's out cold, but definitely not comfortable and has been down on the deck, and they haven't moved her yet in 8 minutes. So medical staff still making sure she's okay. She is now on the stretcher, and so that will see Annika Borba make way, and they have covered her in the tarpaulin as well. So this looks really serious for Annika Borba. An oxygen mask applied as well. Our thoughts are with Annika Borba and Arsenal at this really difficult time. Goalkeeper who's been so important for them. A really nasty injury. Never like to see a player go down with any sort of injury, but especially ones like this, incredibly worrying. Arsenal getting a concussion sub does give Corinthians another change as well, I believe. So Daphne Van Domslaar coming in for Annika Borba for this last minute. A concussion substitution as Annika Borba. It must have been a concussion there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And change as well for Corinthians, who will use this to go for the game. Tamires coming off, and it is Ariel Godoy on in her place. Horrible scenes here at the Emirates. Serious injury for Annika Borba.
Very difficult now for both these sides to jump into it and get back going again.
And how do you? 10 minutes without moving, really. Arsenal got a ball out to knock around to try and keep the sharpness. We're straight back into the fray. Bounces out for a Corinthians throw. It's hard to tell when this will end now. It should be around 60 seconds, but again, it's so difficult now. So the referee's discretion. Palova carries it forwards. One high here by Corinthians. Sent forwards and flicked on by Godoy. It will drop now on the edge of the box, and McCabe takes no chances launching it long. And that's cleared out, and that is the final whistle here at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal are the inaugural FIFA Women's Champions Cup winners. A hard-fought final. Over 150 minutes of action. Arsenal claim a huge title. The inaugural Women's Champions Cup title. The champion of all champions at this stage. And it sets a nice precursor for Arsenal moving into the Club World Cup in a few years. Corinthians, though, a word for them before we look at our victors and get into the trophy lift. What an incredible, hard-fought tournament Corinthians have put on over this week.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Fair play to the Brazilian side. They were superb in their game against Gotham, thoroughly deserved finalists, and they turned up at the Emirates tonight and gave absolutely everything. Late heroics with the penalty in the 96th minute to send us to extra time. Massive credit for their work rate, coming into both the semi-final and the final as underdogs. They'll of course be disappointed, but on reflection, they should be very proud of their efforts. They gave their all against an Arsenal side today that just proved to have too much quality.
Absolutely. And Palinch, thank you so much. Donating $5. The best way to support the channel is through donations and memberships. So thank you so much for that, saying well done today, guys. Lots of watch-alongs. Fantastic service to fans of the women's game. Thank you. We appreciate that so much. And what an incredible final that played out. Annika Borber, our thoughts are with her, and hopefully she can come through this serious injury. It's a cloud over what should be a moment of joy for Arsenal. The players will celebrate on the pitch, of course, still, but there'll be a thought in their minds for their goalkeeper who's gone off under really difficult circumstances. They're stretchered off. Hopefully, we wish a speedy recovery for Annika Borber. But Arsenal will celebrate here at the Emirates Stadium, a tournament at the home of Arsenal. The semi-final at the Brentford Stadium, the final here at the Emirates. And while they may have had the home support, it was Corinthians who had the louder support. Letitia there, field response, when you've got to feel for her. So good throughout this game, but she knows that was a big mistake, that final goal. But the Corinthians fans, incredible throughout, still cheering their side here after the loss. What an effort from Corinthians.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. As you say, Letitia was immense throughout the whole game. Absolutely brilliant. And you know, it's a shame for both goalkeepers. Letitia with a brilliant game, but you know, feels responsible. Borber as well was a massive part of why Arsenal won this game. Pulled off some incredible saves, and you know, hopefully she's okay. It's a shame she doesn't get to enjoy the moment and celebrate with her side right now. But yeah, I mean, Michelle Agyeman's there as well. But yeah, brilliant from both. It was just a fine display of everything you want from a football match. Two goalkeepers at their best. Some brilliant goals in there. Composure, drama, everything you want from a final. Arsenal run out winners in what was a brilliant battle between two very deserving sides. But yeah, massive credit to both teams here, because that was a very, very enjoyable watch.
Yeah, I mean, a testament to the football we want to see at the top level. People talk about the Women's Club World Cup that's coming up in 2028. Are there clubs that will make that tournament worth having? Corinthians have proven 100% there are clubs worth having. And it's a tournament that's going to be incredible, unless it's hosted in Qatar, of course. But Arsenal confirmed to be there, Corinthians confirmed to be there, Gotham confirmed to be there, and, of course, Asfar as well. And I would have some concerns about teams like Asfar. We've seen teams come into this tournament. We've seen them compete in the form of Corinthians, who were fantastic across their two matches. They gave Arsenal such a good game for 120 minutes here. Arsenal came through it. Their changes were important. Ford came on, had the impact, scored that winning goal. And what a moment for her, a player who hasn't registered a contribution at all this season for Arsenal, coming on and getting that winner. That's such an important moment. And they stepped up Arsenal right at the end there. Really important moment. Player of the match.
Oh,
I've done it for a while, but I think it is a good occasion to give a player of the match award.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one because I thought when the game's so long, a lot of players have some really good moments and really bad, some tough moments. I thought for the majority of the match, Ruben Moy was absolutely brilliant. Of course, she had a couple of hairy moments, but got the second goal for Arsenal. Was just brilliant at the back there. Again, Olivia Smith, before she came off, was incredible. But can you give her the player of the match when she only played 70 minutes out of the 140, whatever it was?
Yeah, 64. She played less half the game.
Yeah, exactly that. So it's a difficult one. But yeah, I think honourable mention to Letitia, but I'd give mine to Lotte Wubben-Moy.
Yeah, I think there's a load of Arsenal players that would absolutely deserve it. I think just to give it to someone who perhaps wouldn't be on everyone's mind, I would have to say Andressa Alves. Fantastic for Corinthians, mastered the dark arts well, and she couldn't even run off the pitch at the end. She covered every blade of grass. But so many players could be in that conversation. Kim Litter was excellent again today. You felt the shift in how Arsenal were playing once she came off the pitch. I thought Beth Mead did okay. I thought Fox was really good, and there was a noticeable absence when she came off. I didn't think either of the strikers covered themselves in loads of glory today. As you say, Smith looked really good for 64 minutes. Borba, fantastic. Letitia, fantastic. Players across both sides that deserve credit on that one. By the way, anyone asking about Borba, we've not heard anything yet. I'd expect official channels and some of the journalists, if you want to find out more, I would check on people like Catherine Batt's page on Twitter. They will be updating, you would expect. But yeah, nothing concrete coming out yet. So I
don't believe anything you see.
I was going to say, wait for official sources to confirm things. So reputable journalists or obviously Arsenal giving more information. But what a big win for Arsenal. It's silverware in a season that wasn't going their way necessarily. It's a trophy that, while it doesn't hold much weight now, in a few years as this tournament starts to establish itself, it may start to hold a little bit more weight.
Exactly that. I think it's a good cushion. As you say, it is. It's not prestigious right now, but if it is in a few years, they can hold that. The fact they're the inaugural winners of it, they're the first club to ever do it. If they don't win another trophy this season, they can still say it's this trophy about silverware. Again, it's not one of the main ones, but it is still a trophy, and they've done very, very well, especially the final. If they turned up, Asfar game was a bit uncompetitive, but they had to work for it tonight, and they deserve it on the merit of tonight's performance. So it's another trophy in the bank under Renee Slegers and for Arsenal, but it's also something that could really kick the season on. As you say, it hasn't been a perfect season for the Gunners. This could be the moment that really ignites something for them. They take belief, they take momentum from this. Last weekend, beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, beating Chelsea away for the first time in 8 years. This weekend, winning the FIFA Women's Champions Cup. It feels like an 8 days that Arsenal can really use to push off and now really kick on into what is going to be a very busy, very hectic and very pressurising second half of the season.
Indeed, and well, who better take momentum into than Manchester City at the Emirates on Sunday, 7 days' time. They'll hope fatigue isn't too much of an issue as they go into that match, because after today's results, they suddenly emerge as a team in a really good spot. If they win that game, they'd sit second in the WSL, and they'd obviously gain on City. The game in hand could take them 6 points off.
And then suddenly
7 points off.
And this is what I mean. Suddenly results can just flop and change. You put a good run together in the WSL, you're in a great position. You got to have a bit of a dodgy time of it, and you're in a really bad spot. And yeah, I think that's what all of the three big United, Chelsea, and Arsenal all felt that this season. Arsenal at the start of the season, and United in the middle bit, and Chelsea right now. All these different, and it's all levelling out. And as you say, Arsenal, if they can beat Man City and then win their game in hand against Leicester for whenever that gets rearranged, they're in pole position to get second place in the league. And that would be, suddenly you're looking at second place in the league, winning the Women's Champions Cup, potentially an FA Cup win in there, or the Champions League once again, and it looks like another phenomenal season. So things can ebb and flow so quickly. This could, as you said, this could be a real Kickstarter for Arsenal's campaign, and we could be sat in there at the end of the season. This could be their only trophy. This could be the first of 3. So yeah, it's a long way to go, this campaign. I think they'll try and use this to really kick on this season.
Yeah, and I mean, we've spoken a lot about how important Champions League football is in terms of Arsenal's aspirations. This summer is a big window for Arsenal, but it would be difficult to continue to recruit, and we're expecting a summer with a lot of change for Arsenal. It'll be difficult to go through that if they don't have Champions League football. So it is really important. This can be the catalyst for Arsenal kicking on. Yes, performances this season haven't been great, but they have got results in recent weeks, and that is really important. They've got a tough run now. City coming up this weekend. They play Champions League. Then over the next 2 weeks after that, the playoff run against Leuven. Well, while they shouldn't have any issues in that game, it's another 180 minutes of football, potentially more if they don't see it out like they did here, that it adds to what is already a busy schedule for Arsenal.
Yeah, and it's one of those where what it reminds me of is was it last season against Real Madrid, where they lost the first leg and then had to get to the Emirates to turn it around. And while they did turn that around, they won't want to do that against Leuven. If they mess up the first leg, then they've got to try harder in the second leg. Again, it's all about priorities. Going to extra time today is not ideal at all going into City. That Champions League game, unless they win the first leg convincingly, they're going to have to play another strong side the next week. So it's all about balancing the minutes. They've got to get it right, because that could rotation and fatigue could really make or break their season going into the second half of the campaign.
Next 5 games, season defining really. City at home is a chance to really, I think, get a big scalp there. Leuven away, followed by Brighton away. Not an easy fixture,
No.
travelling to Brighton. Leuven at home then in the midweek, and then Bristol City in the FA Cup. Really important fixture. They shouldn't have any issues, especially since Bristol City's best player won't be able to play, that is Arsenal's loanee, Jesse Gale. But yeah, Arsenal, if they can put a good run of wins together, they mount a much better chance at the Champions League places. They'll put themselves into the quarterfinals of the Champions League to face Chelsea in March. They'll put themselves into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, or round 16, I think, of the FA Cup. I can't remember which round we're at yet, but I think it's already round 16, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. That's then a season with a lot of promise. They'll be gutted to be out of the Women's League Cup, because that's a competition that they love to win. But there'll still be in a lot of major competitions. This is an important victory to get the first piece of silverware available to them under their belts. It'll be interesting to see how they can kick on from this moment. Arsenal building to next season, you feel as well. There's a lot of players that will probably move on this summer, and so it's important they've got Champions League football, as I say, for recruiting, but it's also important that they can sort of take momentum into what will be a busy summer and really kick on at the start of next season.
Yeah, exactly that. I think that this is why winning trophies like this is brilliant, because, as you say, it's a long-term project under Renee Slegers, and I've never seen a long-term project that starts with winning the Champions League and winning the new competition. And it's just, that's where I have to take my hat off to Renee Slegers, because they're managing to. Of course, last year there wasn't too much rebuilding going on, so that made it a bit different. But the fact that she has come in and is starting this new project while also winning 2 trophies already is absolutely brilliant. If they can get it right in the summer and kick on, then fair play to them. I'm sorry, my train of thought has been ruined here by the fact they've had to get. FIFA volunteers have been used to hold umbrellas for the FIFA officials. How entitled and privileged is that Gianni Infantino can't even hold his own umbrella?
Nothing sounds like FIFA. Like, why are they even going up there?
Oh, because they don't need that many people to give out a couple of medals and a
exactly.
trophy. But it's just one of those, isn't it?
And Frida Marnham gets the best player of the FIFA Champions Cup, which has to be up there with the most pointless awards I've ever seen.
She didn't even start the final.
Well, that is also true.
How can you be protected by Arsene Wenger? Yes, that's quite cool.
I mean, it's a 2-match tournament. Why have we got best player award?
And you've given it to a player who didn't even start one of the games. Oh, this is brilliant. Welcome to FIFA tournaments, everybody. I love
She
this.
got 1 goal the other night. I didn't think she was, ridiculously good.
It's brilliant.
I mean, Smith got 2 goals and an assist.
Nah, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? They don't watch it.
I don't know.
I love this because Arsene Wenger and Marlon have no idea what they're doing.
I mean, I don't even think it's a nice trophy. I think they picked that up in Sports Direct, but FIFA best player of the Women's Champions Cup is Frida Varnum. And now all the officials from tonight's game will be rewarded with a handshake from Gianni Infantino.
Oh, I know all the VAR officials are getting a handshake. He's thinking, thank you for giving me an extra 40 minutes of viewing time.
It's unbelievable. There are people paid to stand
Not
behind
paid.
them.
They're volunteers.
Oh my god, that's even worse.
Because he can't be bothered to put his hood up or get a bit wet for 15
I
minutes.
mean, it's not like Infantino to rely on people not getting paid to work. But don't worry, guys. Qatar World Cup 2028 coming soon. They'll all be there. Outrageous. Nice shake of hands. This
So one of the people have got a club, a woman,
FIFA Champions Cup scarf. I recognise her from other tournaments, though. I think, and now the officials from today's game.
Oh, I see. I'm with it now.
I think the last people were just VAR or officials from the other games.
Officials from the other games had to turn up to this one.
I thought Tessa.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, was she there? I
Yeah.
didn't see her.
That's
all the officials from today.
I did think they all looked quite. They didn't look like they've been running around for 130 minutes.
Here's the most enforceful line I've ever seen.
I love it. All Mexican officiating team alongside the VAR from Argentina and an assistant VAR also from Mexico. Did a very good job. Yeah. Overall, managed it well. Got the big call. The penalty decision was correct. On the whole, not sure why. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, they did a good job. Exactly what I say. You don't want to. Obviously, you had the big penalty decision in there, but you don't want to have. I think that's what they're joking about now, actually. But it was the right decision. You don't want to have any controversy in these kind of fixtures. You want it to all go very smoothly.
Love the hater Infantino, by the way. If we can increase that in the live chat, that'll be phenomenal.
Messages we can endorse.
Yeah. FIFA might have paid us to tell you the FIFA Champions Cup is excellent. They didn't tell us anything about Infantino. No. And there's definitely nothing dodgy about the fact that Kinsuke are sponsoring this either.
No.
I'm surprised Michelle Kang's not going up there. And here are Gotham.
What is going on here?
They're getting the third place award.
No, this is rubbish.
Oh my god!
Why didn't they do this earlier? Why are they doing it now?
They had to come up. They had to wait here. They could have been back in America, getting ready.
Well, on the way.
I might have a really fast plane, but no, they had to stay and watch, so they could pick up their bronze medals.
That's ridiculous.
Surely you do that on pitch.
Although I do like the attire with this Gotham, like custom Gotham.
Well, they had to wear something, didn't they? They couldn't go out there in tracks.
Their kit from the played in 6 hours ago. I mean, this is unbelievable from FIFA.
Anything to make the award show a little bit longer. Infantino's going to award himself the Peace Prize in a minute.
He's had the most airtime, I think, of anyone this whole competition.
Shock. Everyone put the camera at me. Unbelievable.
Oh, now we get to see the other pointless FIFA officials. This is so stupid.
What are they gonna? Why are they there? What are they gonna do?
They've had to come out in the pouring rain.
Yeah.
To pick up their third place medals that they won in a game they played 6 hours ago.
Berger's not arse, is she?
No. Could not give.
Berger's won a lot. A bronze medal's not going anywhere, is it?
She'd have to come out of her way. I mean, they probably watched the game.
Yeah. They need someone in attendance.
This is... yeah. I feel for them.
And what's the point in... What are they going to do now?
Take a picture.
They put them on the podium. Yeah, but the podium's for celebrating.
I know.
They're going third.
Yeah. This has got FIFA written all over it.
Where's the Kinsuke blimp gone?
They took that down.
Get that back out.
They did put
In the
put
room.
one up. Yeah, there it is.
God's
In the middle.
Right, now they get the picture.
And I'm sorry, but the team I feel most for here is Corinthians. They've just lost a final, and usually you get to go. You go up
Now they're
quickly.
going up.
You grab your medals and you walk.
Yeah.
Hang on, but they're still there.
Ah, it's all right. Got them all
Oh,
clear
never
off quickly.
But yeah, I feel for them because they've usually you lose a final, debrief a little bit, get your medals, and you get back in the change room. But they've had to stand there for
This
ages.
has been an awkward conversation. Hi, you're right. Yeah, no, you won't be able to play at the next World Cup because we're doing it in the US. Hi, you're right. You won't be able to play at the next World Cup because we're doing it in the US. Brilliant from Infantino.
Fair play to Corinthians though. What a week they've had,
Hmm.
and the fans, the players, everyone around the club can be very proud of their efforts.
Laura said, could they not have given the third place medals during break between games? They could have done it after the Gotham game. So
That's-
Gotham fans were there.
That's what usually happens. If you think like the Olympics, for example, or when you have a third place playoff, I mean, usually in these kind of competitions, the third place don't get awarded; they get the medals afterwards. At the Olympics, obviously they do it after the bronze medal match, don't they? Because it's in a different place.
Well, yeah, but this feels like an under sevens tournament.
Yeah,
When you have to stay there and watch the final, and one of the teams has gone home,
Yeah.
and they look around going, "Hang on, the team that came fourth have gone home."
yeah, but yeah, exactly. Usually the bronze medal match or the third place match is it's then awarded straight after that game finishes. Instead, Gotham have had to sit here for hours and wait for this final to finish.
Yeah. As Chantal says, poor Gotham, 6-hour wait only to get a bronze medal in the rain.
Handed to you by a melt.
Yeah. Today he feels like a medal under hour.
He's a man that feels a lot of things, Gianni Infantino.
I hope he gets booed more.
Arsenal
He's a man who really does get booed more.
Thing is, Arsenal could refuse someone who, across the globe, should be booed more often.
Every time he's seen, just boo at him. Oh, I can't wait to watch the trophy if all the Arsenal players sit behind him and he does the lift.
Thing is, Arsenal could refuse to take their medals off him here, but then they wouldn't be allowed at the Club World Cup in 28. They'd be barred. He'd find a reason. On medical grounds.
The manager happy to collect.
Do you know what? I love it. He's just in his jeans. Jeans are the top. He's turned up at the Champions Cup final and was minutes away from taking Arsenal penalties.
I have to say, I'm surprised we haven't seen Michelle Kang yet out.
That is true. Where is she?
Anywhere in the shop.
Just
Like when London City won the league and the owner lifted the trophy.
maybe she's sat on a what do you call it? The thing floating in the sky.
And finally, we have the champion.
Yes.
Wenger's handing out the medals.
Yes.
I hope that he's just muscled Infantino out the way. Elbowed
they're
him.
shaking his hand.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh dear. Players go through, shaking hands are all our favourite.
I love how you
officials.
can tell which ones know each other. Like the American representative, you could tell when the American recognised them.
But also
you've got head of English FA there.
Yeah, and anyone that's won things before, so they would have met them if you've won anything, any FIFA competitions. So World Cups. So Blair Cadena should be familiar with all of them.
Yeah.
And
I haven't seen the trophy yet.
Cooney Cross looks freezing. She had to put a shirt on just to get a medal.
I haven't seen the trophy yet. We're in a trophy ceremony.
It's the plate thing, isn't it?
I know, but I haven't seen, like, you think they'd show it, or it'd be right there.
They probably got it out for catering by accident. The FIFA people had their meal on it.
Didn't even recognise their own trophy.
Oh, it's got a bit of pork pie on it, but here you go. Laura says, rather have Henri than Wenger. Yeah, but Henri doesn't work for FIFA.
That's a nice...
So it needs to be a FIFA person. But...
A nice touch from Van Domselaar there, by the way. She's got Borba's shirt on the wrong way, the wrong way round.
So it shows out.
Yeah, that's nice.
That must be a replacement shirt, I'm assuming, as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is nice. A nice touch. God, it's going to be the Club World Cup by the time they get through this.
How many
And it says,
players
where
are-
is Claire Wheatley? Yeah, when does Stan Kroenke come out and lift the trophy?
Who's the head of recruitment that Phil hates?
Taylor Hyde had to put a shirt. He's on crutches.
He's not really using them.
No, I mean, to be fair, he's not going a long distance, is it?
No.
Is she?
Not sure why.
Slegers.
Why is Williamson there in a full kit? Why is she going up?
They listed her. She's not fit to play, but they listed her. She'll get a medal.
She hasn't played a minute.
Well, yeah.
That's not
Neither's
right.
Hines.
Yeah, that's
They're
not
injured.
right either. None of that's right.
But if they're listed in the squad, that's why
Yeah.
Arsenal listed them.
I'm not sure why. Oh, she's behind Slegers because her and Little are going to lift the trophy together.
Littler.
Sorry, Little.
You're right. He doesn't look sick.
No. Yeah, I don't. That's not right either. The captain on the day, and the captain on the day should lift the trophy for me, and then you can pass it on.
Little was the captain, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, right.
But her and Williamson shouldn't do this together. This happens a lot now in the modern game, where two players will do it together.
Yeah, they've got
Here we go.
the plate.
Oh, that is just a plate.
It's not great, is it?
That's not a trophy.
But it's in a little.
Yeah, no, that's rubbish.
In the middle, hoist above them the FIFA Champions plate. That's a good point. Why have they picked a plate for a cup?
Oh, that's poor.
Pal-
I'm not
Palover
bored.
picks it up.
That is the worst trophy I've ever seen. And it's not even... It's called a...
And now they're calling over, I presume, Renee Slegers, but I'm hoping it's Michelle
No,
Kang.
it was the star. There we go.
FIFA Champions Cup brought to you by Michelle Kang.
I might as well just say that.
Like it says, and all the staff
There you
come
go.
over.
I mean, McKay... I'm sorry, but if I'm McKay's teammates, I'm not letting her celebrate with that.
I'll have it back.
She sent us to extra time. This could have been finished an hour ago, remember, from McCabe. Ford deserves it, scored the winning
It's a
goal.
nice moment as well, because I guess Arsenal haven't had anything to celebrate at the Emirates for years.
No.
Like the last trophy left at the Emirates, I assume they did something with the Champions League, or they brought it
Oh,
back.
yeah.
But the last proper trophy at the Emirates
sorry.
would have been... Hang on.
Well, yeah.
It would have been when... I'm guessing Arsenal won the league, because they've won it more recently than Arsenal men, because that's been like 20 years.
That's been so long. We weren't even live.
The last Arsenal trophy left at the Emirates would have been...
And this is not parading the trophy.
Yeah,
this
no.
is having to lift it. The ceremony happening at the stadium, so it can only be a league title or this tournament.
2019, but we're Arsenal at home in their last game of the season of 2019.
Oh yeah, because
If not,
Chelsea lifted it at Old Trafford a couple of years
Yeah.
ago. That was funny.
So 2019, if not, it would have been 2012.
Wow.
So it's been a while since there's been a trophy lift at the Emirates.
Yeah. And they don't get lifted bloody cup or
And they got-
trophy.
And they got a plate.
a bronze. It's not even gold. It's a bronze plate.
And it's got all the continents on it.
Wow.
They didn't even invite.
Oh God, they're not
they
all
didn't-
in it.
They didn't even invite Oceania this one.
How can you put all the continents on
Well,
it?
they all. Oh, it's got all the 6 that are involved.
Okay, that makes more
No
sense.
Antarctica.
No. Polar bears think a bit of fun.
Obviously, Asia and Oceania were involved earlier.
Qualifier.
They lost in the qualifiers.
Well, Arsenal, understandably enjoying this. As I said, you can push off. I'm sorry, but why is McCabe the one that gets to promote this around? If I'm one of her teams, I'm livid.
Why is she running around with it?
I don't know. She nearly cost them the game.
Say, she's dreadful.
It's easy to forget that, but yeah, if I was her teammate, I'd be absolutely fuming. Who are they? Arsenal coaching staff. Getting their first medals. Pullover dancing.
Would you like to know the story behind the trophy? It's a similar design to the Men's Club World Cup trophy.
No.
Not really, is it?
No,
but
nothing
that's reaching. The front of the trophy features map engravings of all 6 continental confederations arranged in a hexagonal shape, with a world map in the centre reflecting both the global reach of women's club football and the international significance of the tournament.
Rubbish. Sorry, that is rubbish. That is just rubbish.
The international significance. Oh, that's the tournament. Phil says, you lads are just jealous of our lovely plate of nonsense. Yes, I wish we had more plates.
I'm not jealous. I think that's on Anne's wall.
Danger Mouse says the Men's Club World Cup trophy was no better. But that had a thing that unlocked and it did the whole
Yeah.
spinny thing, didn't it? This is
We
just
did have
a
a Trump
plate.
lifted it up.
Obviously,
That
the fact that
ruined
it's
it.
still in his office is insane. alongside Madueke's medal. He's never getting that back. So,
Box office.
if Trump gets impeached, it'll be Madueke first at the door asking for that back. Need something for it.
And Enzo Maresca wants his Club World Cup trophy back.
Not even letting Chelsea have it.
Yeah, no.
He's making off with that. How's McCabe still got to play?
It's ridiculous. How do Arsenal fans feel about it? But if I saw the player who conceded a penalty, I know, but if I saw the player that conceded a penalty in the 96th minute and nearly cost us the final, parading the trophy, I'd be fuming.
Equally, it might be her last trophy at Arsenal.
I don't care. Oh, she's Droysen.
I don't know.
No, I'd get her off. Get her off of the parade.
Ryan says, I guess the 1.7 million will make up for the trophy. That is true. What will Arsenal spend that on?
I can't. George Stanway's contract.
Yes. And
to be fair,
as goalkeeper now,
yeah,
we desperately need one.
Hopefully, Bob was all right.
You would assume Laura Dick will probably be announced in the next few days.
Probably. Bit of a deadline day signing. That's another. While we're on the topic of money, Corinthians $1 million to the runner-up. That is massive for them.
And a Vittoria's contract.
That is, yeah. They paid for that in advance, went into debt, and now they're back in it.
So that's why they really tried.
Yeah.
And the Vittoria's.
They said if we don't at least get runners-up in this game, we will not have the money to fund any of your contracts because Anna Vittoria's here now. What a final! What a day! Only 3 hours and 36 minutes. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'll be honest. I've really enjoyed the actual competition. I don't agree with the other certain aspects around it, but the actual games have been brilliant to watch.
The Arsenal Asphalt game wasn't a vintage.
Oh yeah,
but the fact that it was our most viewed stream ever until tonight.
Yeah.
And I guess a personal thing. Thank you so much for today's stream. 55,000 views.
Wow.
Smashing our most viewed stream, which was Chelsea Barcelona from last season. So thank you. So I don't have to be remembered of that ever again.
But is Arsenal winning a trophy?
No, I'll just remember Arsenal Asphalt being our second.
I remember the 96-minute penalty. That from
Victoria Albuquerque. Incredible stuff. But we'll be back tomorrow to talk all things WSL with the weekend roundup. With the first 30 minutes, it's going to feature us in tears, and the next half an hour we'll be us talking more seriously about the league. And join us on Tuesday. We'll be live quite a bit later on Tuesday. We're 9 o'clock live stream. We'll be here to see in the transfer deadline. So if there's any big rumours, any big moves coming up to the deadline, we'll be here to cover all of that and more. Of course, with videos out on this channel across the week as well. We'll be back next weekend. More Arsenal live content as they take on Manchester City next Sunday. And we'll, of course, be live for games across the WSL weekend. That, though, is everything. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you next time. you.